Hey y'all, welcome to the Sharion Sade channel. Can somebody let me know if you can hear me okay? I'm using a new microphone. So y'all let me know if you can hear me okay. Let's get some music going. It's too quiet. There we go. Got some tunes. Y'all can hear me. Thank you so much, Novi D. Novi D said y'all can hear me. It's good to see y'all. It has been a while. I have just been trash. I've been doing all pre-recordeds. Thank y'all so much for joining. We got a lot to catch up on, don't we? We have 5 segments today. I usually do 3, but we have 5 segments today. I'll explain my absence. I've still been doing pre-recordeds and the podcast. Thank y'all for supporting the podcast. I've been getting a lot of really good feedback for the podcast. I think it's personally because with the podcast and being on Podbean, I can be a little bit more free with my words and I have a lot more protections over there, legal protections. So I can kind of have a little bit more fun with what I'm saying. And also there's not as much like content restriction. And so we get to like have fun in the comment section. So I appreciate everybody who comes over there to listen or listens on YouTube too. So thank y'all so much. It's good to see y'all too. I tell you what, it feels like I'm seeing family. It is so funny. Like I've never met any of you, I don't think. I don't think I've met anybody in real life, but genuinely, it feels like I'm seeing all my friends, like seeing y'all's emojis and y'all's names. This just made my whole year. I'm so sorry it's taking me so long. So I'll explain my little musty absence. I went back to school last year and I made the dean's list my first semester back, y'all. I was so nervous about being a 37-year-old college student again. I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to, be a therapist. So I want to open my own private practice. So I have to get the education. You can't just be bumming along. You got to be real with that. And so I had to go back to school and I was nervous, y'all. All summer, my stomach was in knots. Every advisor meeting, I was just like, okay, so what all I got to do? I was just nervous only to go back. And I'm not even the oldest person in my class. I'm like actually near the bottom. Most people in my class are much older. And it has been nice because y'all know I love wisdom and picking people's brains and people who've lived life. There's just something so special about talking to people about their lived experiences versus hypothetical. So I've been getting so much out of being back in school only to find out I made the dean's list my first semester back. And so this semester things kicked up a lot. And so I'm taking more classes and it's just been busy. I'm actually taking classes at 2 separate colleges so I can finish faster. So that's where I've been. That's why I can't go to Invictus this year. And I am heartbroken, but I know Harry and Meghan will understand. When I have my own private practice, I'll be able to fly out whenever I want to. And so that's the goal. But that's where I've been. Thank y'all so much for the support. And I've also been on a weight loss journey too. So To been working out a lot. I've been busy. So I have to prepare for a surgery that I'm having later this year. And so part of that surgery, I have to lose weight for having what is not higher chance of success. Oh my gosh, just a pretty routine surgery. But my doctor told me if I were to lose weight, my recovery time would be cut in half. So instead of being down 8 weeks, I'd be down 3.5 to 4. So I was like, yeah, let's get on that. So that's what I've been doing. I'm down 36 pounds so far. I got 90 to go. So y'all catch me on the other side. Next time y'all see me, I'm gonna be skin and bones, but that's okay. The surgery gonna go well. But that's where I've been. Thank y'all so much. Y'all so sweet. This is why I say this is family to me. Y'all know this is family, seeing y'all and communicating and celebrating our wins together. I really appreciate y'all so much. But that is where I have been. But I'm gonna get back on the money. Like I said, I'm gonna get back on my routine now that school is getting normal. And all the introductions are done. I know where all my classes will be and all that stuff. We're back on track. So we'll continue. So we've got a lot to talk about. It's been a fun week of Harry and Meghan news for me. I've been talking about their fashion and all the praise they've been getting and the shout outs they've been getting. And I've been having a good time. We defend them when we need to, but isn't it great when we get to just celebrate with them? And they started off 2025 really strong. So far, Harry won his lawsuit. Well, he settled his trial. He accepted the settlement that was offered to him. And so we celebrated that. And I was actually nervous about that, not because I thought he would lose. Actually, I knew he would win, but I was so nervous about the toll and the stress because that was a big trial. And so I was my stomach was in knots about like, gosh, traveling back and forth on the days when he would have had to testify or to participate, and all the hours and time. I just know that was such a heavy weight. And so, I send prayers up for people when I know that they're coming up on something challenging. And so I was praying for them. And then, of course, that was right after the fires. I was like, good gosh. And of course, Meghan's back on Instagram and she announced her show. So 2025 started off with a bang. And we've been covering all of it, but it has been so nice to see things not slowing down, but not being as hectic and negative, and we have mostly positive stuff to talk about. And I prefer to lean into that, but we will defend when we need to. Make no mistake about it. But it's fun to celebrate more so than defend. So the first topic we have today is actually super, super cute. And I could have assumed, I'm sure we all would have assumed this is the case, but it's really cool to get confirmation. Princess Lilibet is a little trendsetter. Despite being the little youngest Sussex members of the family, she's a trendsetter. And I'm not surprised. Y'all remember when her first one-year birthday picture came out, that dress sold out in seconds. So yes, mama knows what to do. So we're going to talk about that first because she set a new trend. Princess Lilibet is a trendsetter already. Despite being the youngest of the Sussex family, she's setting trends globally. This story comes to us compliments of Hello Magazine. Now, I was going to read the original title, but it's so weird. The original title is Prince Harry's daughter Lilibet's birth sparks big change. That is awful. That's awful. Why don't we just say Princess Lilibet's birth sparks big change? The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are single-handedly influencing baby names. I mean, that just sounds much better. Let's continue. This was written by Kate Thomas. Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, welcomed their daughter, Princess Lilibet Diana, into the world with great joy on June 4th, 2021. But did you know that the Sussexes made history with their baby name choice? The young royal's full name, Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor, pays tribute to the late Queen Elizabeth II's childhood nickname, as well as Prince Harry's late mother, Diana, Princess of Wales. While it's tradition for the royals to pay tribute to family members with their symbolic name choices, with Princess Beatrice giving her second daughter a meaningful family name just this week, Lilibet was an unusual moniker at the time. I always thought it was so original and cute. The name derives from the Hebrew root Elisheva, meaning God is my oath, and is a sweet and unusual nickname for Elizabeth. I always heard that it was because Princess Margaret called her Lilibet because she couldn't pronounce Elizabeth. I always heard that's where Lilibet came from. I don't know. Both are pretty cute. The Bump website has tracked the popularity of the name worldwide over time, and it's plain to see how Meghan and Harry's choice has influenced popular culture. Lilibet went from number 12,986 in 1988 to a huge uptick in popularity in 2022, the year after the young royal's birth. The moniker shot up to number 5,102 in 2022, had a massive spike of over 1,368% in 2023, and ranked at number 2,072 by 2024. Their son, Prince Archie Harrison's name is, of course, even more popular. Worldwide, the name ranks at number 193, according to The Bump, and it currently stands at number 11 in the UK. Holy guacamole. We recently did a deep dive into the most popular royal names for girls, and surprisingly, Catherine was only number 15. That is not surprising at all. Leading the pack was Isla, the name given to Peter Philip's daughter upon her birth in 2012, with 2,613 baby girls christened with the moniker in 2023. It was followed by Mia, aka Zara Tyndall's daughter, while Princess Beatrice's daughter Sienna's name also featured high up. As for Lilibet, it is the 17th most popular royal-inspired baby name, with 29 babies born in the UK in 2023 named after the princess. Wow. The study by children's play therapy experts Mimsy Magic compiled a list of key members of the British royal family using the latest data from the Office of National Statistics. Meghan's connection to the name Lilibet. While the name has special connotations for Harry, Lilibet, or Lily as the couple have nicknamed her, also has a connection to Meghan's childhood. As revealed by People, Meghan referred to herself as Flower on her blog during her Suits days. That's what her mom calls her. On the now defunct lifestyle site, The Tig, Meghan listed her nicknames as Meg, MM, Eminem, and Flower, which my mom has called me since I was little. Oh, I could have just waited. Okay, I did a little digging because that was really bothering me. British Vogue actually did a whole article on why Queen Elizabeth II's nickname was Lilibet. And it says, many people believe that the late Duke of Edinburgh bestowed the nickname of Lilibet on the Queen. I never thought that. Whom he met when she had just turned 13 during a visit to the Royal Naval College in Dartmouth. In reality, however, her beloved father gave her the moniker, which is inspired by her failed attempts to say Elizabeth as a toddler. The name apparently stuck within the family, used both in times of great happiness and great tragedy. During her father's historic coronation in 1937, the 11-year-old future monarch, who remains an avid diary keeper to this day, oh, this was obviously written when she was still alive, wrote her impressions of Westminster Abbey under the heading From Lilibet by herself, and George VI often repeated the phrase, Lilibet is my pride, Margaret is my joy. Tellingly, when the Queen Mother died in 2002, Her Majesty signed her card, which she placed on top of a wreath of camellias, or camellias? I've never actually seen that word. In loving memory, Lilibet. And when the Princess Elizabeth arrived home in Britain after her father's death in 1952 to assume the throne, her mother greeted her with a stern but loving reprimand. Lilibet, your skirts are much too short for mourning. Aww. Well, okay, I knew it was someone couldn't pronounce it, so it was actually Queen Elizabeth herself who struggled to pronounce her own name, which is why they called her Lilibet. Okay, I just had to clear that up. This article is linked in the description box below under sources if you would like to look at this yourself. I'm actually not surprised that both Sussex children have influenced baby names all over the world. They're very adorable names. I mean, Princess Lilibet Diana, Prince Archie, those are such cute names. But one of my favorite things about both of their names is that they will age well. Even when they're an adult, those names will be appropriate. I remember hearing someone talk about naming their kids, and something that they had to keep remembering is that I'm naming a baby right now, but this baby will one day be an adult. This name has to age well with them. And I never even considered that. And it's funny because why wouldn't I? But I've never considered how people's names will age as they get older until she made that comment. And now it's all I think about, because I have, whenever I hear new or unique names, because I have met people whose names were interesting as an adult. And I thought that was probably super, super cute when you were a baby, but you're 40 now. So I'm sure that's interesting for you, because I have heard some names that were adorable for kids, but not as adults. And so I'm pretty sure that plays into one of the many reasons that play into why people have been choosing to take the name or use the name Princess Lil, or not Princess, but Lilibet Diana or Archie for their kids as well, because they're really cute names and they'll age well. They also sound royal. They're very unique, but they sound royal. They have a very regal essence about them. And I think that's really cute. And a lot of people like to have that energy around their kids as well. Cute, innocent names that will age well and sound good in any time period. So anyway, I thought that was such a cute story, and I had to open up today's live stream with that. Congratulations to Archie and Lilibet for continuing to be trendsetters. What are y'all's thoughts on Archie and Lilibet influencing baby names? Speaking of babies, my baby didn't want to be on the floor anymore in her little bed. This is Rosalind Rochelle. Now, see, that name is going to age well because she already sounds 50. I love the name Rochelle. I have an aunt named Rochelle, and I love the name Rochelle, and Rosalind is a German name. So obviously a schnauzer. You don't want to look at everybody? Want to say hi? She's gotten big. So a lot of y'all saw her when I first got her. She was tiny. She's big now. Look at all this. Look at all this baby. It's a big old baby now. But anyway, look how she's such a mama's girl. Anyway, yes. Oh, Jill. Hi, Jill Sinanen. Jill says, yes, like calling them junior as an adult, grown men will be junior. Right. Like, I'm always like, okay, it's got to transition to like the second or the third at some point, right? Because I've seen some grown juniors. I even have some June bugs in my family. Speaking of names, you know, we country down here. So I got some June bugs. I got a Bebop. I got a Wimpy. We have some interesting names some nicknames in my family. My nickname is Nip. Like, and it doesn't have any rhyme or reason. But anyway, but yes, I thought that was so freaking cute that her name, or both of their names, but Lily is like in the top 10 of best baby names in the UK. I know that's right. She's already setting trends, but that is a beautiful name. I saw Joan Commonwealther. Hi, Joan. Joan says my aunt name was Lily. I think Lily is such a beautiful name. It's so lovely. I remember seeing on Modern Family, the little girl, her name was Lily. And I thought, what a pretty name. I love that. Oh, thank y'all so much. Rosalind, you getting some compliments. Now you gonna stop showing out? No, she not. She not gonna stop showing out. But anyway, I thought that was so cute. So now we have another topic. Now, some of y'all probably have already discussed it on another channel, but I didn't get a chance to. And I'm surprised because it was kind of a big story. So we're going to go to the next segment and leave me your thoughts in the comment below, and I'm going to respond to them after the segment. Yes, I am a couple of days late on this, but please forgive me. I didn't get a chance to talk about it when it was new, so we have to talk about it today during the live stream. Meghan was spotted celebrating Kerry Washington's birthday at her birthday party. This story is coming to us directly from People magazine, and the title of this article is Girls' Night Inside Meghan Markle's Friendship with Kerry Washington Amid Birthday Celebration. The Scandal star has also previously shouted out the Duchess of Sussex's birthday, and this is written by Janine Henney. Meghan Markle helped Kerry Washington celebrate her birthday with a girls' night in, inspiring a look back at their years-long friendship. Washington turned 48 on January 31st, and the Duchess of Sussex attended the spiritual-themed bash that Jessica Alba posted video of to TikTok on the same day. Meghan was spotted sitting next to the Scandal alum at a long table as Alba walked in with plates of donuts lit up with candles, and she briefly appeared in other shots of the party where guests participated in activities like meditation and journaling. That sounds like a very refreshing party. Quote, "Happy born day to my girl, Kerry Washington," the Honest Company founder wrote in part online with festive emojis. "There's nothing like that fill your cup type of girls' night." Washington also shouted out a cause close to Meghan's heart in her Instagram post with photos from the celebration with friends. And she said that her birthday wish was for followers to consider donating to the Altadena Teen Girls Fire Rescue. Aww. I love Kerry Washington. On January 13th, the Duchess of Sussex quietly volunteered with the new relief group working to create a sense of normalcy for teens affected by the Eaton Fire, one in the series of wildfires that devastated the Los Angeles area in January. Meghan and Prince Harry had contributed to the charity through their Archewell Foundation before the Duchess of Sussex went to volunteer, and Washington pledged to match her Instagram followers' donations to the cause. Quote, "An amazing organization helping young girls to rebuild a historic community," in her birthday post. Meghan and Washington, who follows the Duchess of Sussex Washington on her new Instagram account, unveiled on January 1st, have seemingly known each other for years. Yes, there's a lot of pictures of them together. Washington posted a throwback photo of them together to support Meghan's 40 at 40 initiative in 2021. The pitch invited people to donate 40 minutes of their time to women re-entering the workforce, timed to the Duchess's 40th birthday that year, and her pal posted a picture of them together. I remember that. I thought that was such a creative idea. The shot showed the friends at a New York City dinner in 2013, celebrating Washington's cover that April of Elle magazine, an era overlapping with Meghan's 10 years starring on Suits. And she wrote on social media that then how she was supporting 40 by 40. Quote, "Happy birthday to this beautiful," and she just put a crown, but we'll just say princess, Meghan Markle. "On her 40th birthday, I will be joining the Duchess of Sussex by donating 40 minutes of service to grassroots organizers and organizations on the ground fighting for change, fighting for our democracy, fighting for our rights and our voices to be heard as we re-enter into the workforce and a new election season," Washington wrote in part on Instagram. In August of 2023, Meghan, Washington, and Kelly Rowland attended one of Beyoncé's Renaissance World Tour concerts at the SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. There, the trio posed for photos showing that they adhered to Beyoncé's birthday wish that her fans all wear fabulous silver fashions to shows through August 23rd through September 22nd in honor of her 42nd birthday. That's September 4th. Yes, Meghan actually went to 2 shows, but this one was the birthday show. That's the one with Diana Ross. That one was amazing. Oh, I was so jealous that I didn't get to go to that. The Duchess of Sussex and Kerry Washington were recently spotted spending time together at the 2024 Paley Honors Fall Gala in Beverly Hills on December 4th, celebrating their friend Tyler Perry. As seen in a video obtained by Hello Magazine, Washington and Meghan grooved in their seats during the live auction segment of the night, honoring Perry, whose table they sat at. Perry is the godfather of Meghan and Prince Harry's 3-year-old daughter, Princess Lilibet, and recently directed the new Netflix movie, The 6888, starring Kerry Washington. The film follows Kerry Washington as Lieutenant Colonel Charity Adams, the commanding officer of the 6,888th Central Postal Directory Battalion, the only unit made up of Black women in the Women's Army Corps sent to Europe during World War II. The 6888 premiered on Netflix just a few days after the gala on December 6th. Aw. Well, it's great to look back at their friendship. And I love how, one, that they're friends, but they also have an interconnected group of friends. They have a lot of the same friends, and I love that. And of course, all roads lead back to Beyonce. So that's always nice. But I thought it was really cute that we saw Meghan in the background. I love that she's such a girl's girl. She's so supportive, knowing that her presence will get a lot of attention. She never tries to steal the limelight. Just her showing up could possibly steal the limelight. And she intentionally tries to, go low key and not take attention away from people when they're having their moment. She did the same thing with Tyler Perry. She's always so supportive of her friends. And I just love that about her. Anyway, I thought this was such a cute story. And I love to see that Meghan is out and about living her best life. Ma'am, you absolutely deserve. And you deserve the amazing friendships that you clearly have. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the live chat. So I thought that was so cute. I wish we'd gotten more photos. And the one we got was from a TikTok, but I wanted a few more photos. But they look like they were having a good time. And that's a cool idea for a birthday party, especially now because we have so much going on. It's stressful and times are crazy. I'm always afraid to go anywhere with a big crowd. You might get sick or you might get shot here in the US. So shoot, I don't like going too many places with big crowds anyway. So having a bunch of my friends at home doing facials and journaling and stuff, that sounds like a really good time. Let me respond to some of you guys' comments. I said 40 and 40. I said everything but what it was. So I put it here in the comment. 40 for 40. I said 40 by 40, 42, 40, 40 and 40. I said everything but what I was supposed to say. So I typed it out once I realized that I did that. But anyway, let's read some of your comments. Hi, Lakiva McGee. It's great to see you. Lakiva says your puppy is so cute. Thank you so much. She bad and cute. She's bad though. Thank you so much. Hi, Shelly Miranda. Shelly Miranda says your baby is so beautiful and big now. Thank you. She got big overnight and she's just as heavy as she want to be, but she does not know that she's no longer a tiny puppy anymore. So half the time my hip is just crying because I got her on this hip and I keep my other baby on my other hip. I have a 14-year-old and she is now 10 months. So I have a 10-month-old and a 14-year-old. My goodness. Hi, Marie Johnson. Marie Johnson says, how precious, pretty dog sharing. Thank you so much. She is a sweetheart. She's not sweet, but I love her to death. Hi, Lakiva McGee. Lakiva McGee says, good to see that beautiful smile. Thank you so much. It is so good to see y'all. I can't wait until the cooking show. Me either. I'm ready. And y'all know I'm going to have my little notebook out. I'm taking notes. I'm going to be trying to make some of the stuff that Meghan makes. I don't care how outlandish it is. I don't care what utensils I have to buy. I'm definitely going to try some of those recipes because just from the trailer alone, she looked like she was throwing down. Hi, Patricia Smith. It's good to see you. Patricia Smith says, I have a cousin, Rochelle. Really? Oh my gosh. I have I think 2 family members named Rochelle, and it's one of my favorite names. It always has been. And I knew that if I didn't have a daughter anytime soon, then I was going to have to give it to somebody. So Miss Rosalind came and I said, you need a middle name, Rosalind. Rosalind Rochelle. And I like to call her Roro. She answers to everything. Hi, Colette McCullough. It's good to see you. Colette McCullough says, my dad's name is Stink and mine is Red. Oh, my mom is Red. A lot of people call my mom or Little Red because she's short. But yes, I love that. Stink is so cute. I know a bunch of little babies that I call Stink. That is adorable. Okay. But yes, it looked like they had a really good time at that party. Meghan looked like she was having a great time. Jessica Alba looked really pretty. That photo of her, I haven't seen her in a long time. Thank you, Gladys Favors. I haven't seen her in a long time, but Jessica Alba looks so pretty. I was like, I'd be glad when she come out with another movie or something. It's been a while since I've seen Miss Honey. Thank you so much, TCC Son, for the super chat. Glad to see you. Baby is cute. I'm so excited for the show next month. Me too. I'm ready for this show. I cannot wait. Oh, right. Colette McCullough says, I'm ready for a cookbook from her. Me too. Me too. Another one. Yes, absolutely. I've tried some of the recipes from Together and they're good. They're really good. But yes, I'm ready for a Meghan specific cooking show. From what everyone who's had her cooking says she can throw down. And who was it? I'm looking at her face and I can't call her name. Mindy Kaling said that Harry can cook as well. So I was like, that's pretty cool. Meghan been in there teaching him how to cook. I love that. No more eating food over the stove. No more eating microwave food over the sink. I know that's right, Harry. Hi, Joan Commonwealther. Joan says, well, you did space their births out, so that's a good thing. Sorry, y'all. Yes, I did. They're both all natural babies, all natural births. Oh, I love that. Hi, Lakiva McGee. Lakiva McGee says my nickname is Princess. I love that. That's what I call my niece, Miss Princess. I call her everything. Okay, y'all, we got to go to the next segment. Continue leaving me your comments in the comment section below or in the live chat, and I will respond when we get back. The Archewell Foundation has posted a new update of the Responsible Youth Technology Power Fund. The title of this article is $2.4 million invested in the future of responsible tech. Now, we have been keeping track of this, the Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund for a little while, since it was announced a couple of years ago. So I'm really glad we have this update. The Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund has announced a new cohort of grantees who are working to create a more responsible technology system. In its second year, the fund is investing $2.4 million to support 18 youth-led organizations who are paving the way for a brighter digital future. At the Archewell Foundation, we believe that young people must be at the forefront of the movement to shape a better online world. That's why we remain committed to supporting RTYPF and its mission to uplift the next generation of responsible technology leaders. This year's grantees are tackling critical issues such as ethical AI, mental health advocacy, digital safety education, and tech-based climate solutions. Importantly, this year's grantee selection process was led and decided by young people for young people, with a youth-led steering committee ensuring that the movement is truly driven by those it impacts most. As a proud founding member of Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund, alongside partners including Amidyar Network, Hope Lab, Susan Crown Exchange, and the Susan Reynolds Lookup Fund, we celebrate these young innovators. To learn more about the Responsible Technology Youth Power Fund and this year's inspiring grantees, visit the website. So we did. We are grateful to support these 18 responsible technology organizations, programs, and teams. For 2024 to 25, grants ranging from $50,000 to $125,000 were awarded to 14 youth-led and 4 intergenerationally led 501c3 organizations. Each organization is working on responsible technology topics across mental health and well-being, artificial intelligence, and climate change domains. The full press release is also on this website. So that includes AI Consensus, Center for Intimacy Justice, the Cyber Collective, Decipher Studio, Design It For Us, Encode, Generation Patient, Half the Story, Innovation for Everyone, Los Altos Institution, Our Subscription to Addiction, Paragon Policy Fellowship, People's Public Lab, Rethink Citizens, Rooted Futures Lab, Seek Common Ground, Truble & Co., and Young People's Alliance Education Fund. I actually donate to this one. So this is really cool. I'm really glad they gave us this update. If you are looking to invest in any of this or invest any time in learning about any of this, or learn more about this, or even just read the press release, this link is in the description box below. But you can also reach the first page from sussex.com or archewell.org. Congratulations to everyone who received a grant. I'm so happy to see that not only the Archewell Foundation, but so many people are invested in making sure that technology in the future is safer for use for everyone. And I find that putting the power in the hands of the people it impacts most, just as Archewell Foundation's statement said, is the best way to go about it. I really appreciate how Harry and Meghan and the Archewell Foundation team have gone above and beyond to find reasonable ways to induce positive change. Like, there's not a one-size-fits-all approach to their advocacy work. I find that they put a lot of time and thought into how they show up for others and how they show up to help the future, help people even in today. And technology has been a very important topic, a very hot topic lately. And I appreciate that instead of just complaining about it, which, I mean, hey, getting awareness about topics is important as well. So sharing and talking about things is important. But instead of stopping there, Harry and Meghan use their platform to inform, but they also use their resources and the resources of the Archewell Foundation to put towards solution. And I also appreciate that they help other people who are also on the same mission. It's not a competition for them. It's a group effort. And one of Meghan's favorite quotes is, "A high tide raises all ships." And you can see that approach in everything she does. I'm very happy to be living in the same time as them and to watch how they're literally changing the landscape of advocacy work and what it means to be a responsible public figure. Kudos to them and the whole team and everyone working to improve how technology is used and how safe we are when using technology. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the live chat below. I also really appreciate that they continue to highlight our organization. It just goes to show that they're not trying to get accolades and trying to get recognition. They're trying to actually solve a lot of societal issues. That's just something I really appreciate about them. To be fair, years ago, when I first started following them intently, it was mostly because, one, it was just a history-making couple, a very beautiful couple in fashion and style. Kind of shallow at times. And I just thought, she is one stylish lady, and I just love her. I love them together. It's great to see Harry so happy. It started from that, but I don't know that I ever could have guessed that not only would they have evolved individually and as a couple into such well-rounded individuals and represent so much good in the world, but to see how hard they work to continue to do that, I never regret for a day that I spend so much of my time and this platform on supporting them, because supporting them and spreading awareness about the amazing things they do continues to support us. I mean, they give so much back to society. And I think it's why sometimes I take things a little personal when people criticize them needlessly. It's kind of like it puts a little chip on my shoulder. I tune it out as much as I can. But sometimes I do want to just shake people by the shoulders and say, what do you get out of this? Like, how are we looking at the same information and walking away with two completely different perspectives? Like, do you not see the good that they do? Do you not see how they just seem like genuinely good-hearted people? Now, I've never met them. I don't know. They could just be jerks, but I'm going to judge by the people who've actually met them and how warm everyone says they are and how sweet they are and how considerate they are. I'm willing to bet a little money that they are actually good people, and the attitudes, the perspectives, the personality matches the works and the deeds that we see in front of us. I don't understand how people can walk away and always look for things or create and make up things to dislike about them. But I think that says a lot about society in general. So there's the 48 Laws of Power. I think it's by Robert Greene. One of the 48 laws is never appear too perfect. And I think that's the thing that ticks people off about Harry and Meghan, outside of the misogyny and racism, because for some people, they were just going to be disliked. And that just is what it is. And trust me, as a woman and as a Black woman, I know I've met those people. They just don't like us. And that's fine. You can keep being wrong by yourself. But what I will say is something that I think people struggle with is, in society, we have been duped a lot. We have been duped a lot. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a chicken in America. Like, we get duped a lot. We are always having to combat misinformation. We're always having to combat being duped and smoke and mirrors, like everything. Like they say, all the world's a stage. I just think people have gotten used to being tricked. And I feel like when people see people who are genuine, it almost feels like, oh no, you're getting over on me, because no one's good anymore. No one's genuine anymore. I feel like people have a natural aversion to anything that looks too good, which is like the 48 Law of Power of don't appear too perfect. I think that's what it is for some people. Now, some people, like I said, are misogynistic and racist. They're off on their own. But I think for those people who are kind of like riding the fence, or who say, I don't really know, I like them, but, and they always have those excuses, or they seem to be looking for something, like they're trying to build a case on them. I think those people struggle with the smoke and mirrors that we see in everything else. And I think it's kind of why Beyonce, for example, I always use her as an example, because I haven't seen a more consistent celebrity than Beyonce. She's been famous since I was a kid, and a small kid, since the mid 90s. And she has been so consistent. She doesn't speak ill of people. She doesn't harm people. She credits people even when they don't really deserve the credit. Like, she goes above and beyond to make sure people get their checks, get their credit, all that. Like, you just can't find a better, more well-rounded celebrity who's just doing it because they love to do it and they want to be the best at it. And people make up stuff to hate about her. And I think it's that same thing of don't appear too perfect. People have just gotten to the point where I don't feel this way, but I think a lot of people as a society just genuinely don't trust anything that looks too good. And if they do like someone or something, or if they do find themselves really agreeing or saying, hey, this is a good person, or this is a good cause, or this is a good show or organization or whatever, they're so worried about that other shoe dropping that they just naturally keep one foot in the air. They're just like, I like Meghan. She's pretty and she's sweet. And she has this amazing history of working so well with people and being so nice to people and doing so much for people, whether she has a lot of money or a little money, or whether she's so successful or she's just starting out. She's always been dedicated to helping society. We have all this history of her in classrooms campaigning to make school better and helping people run their campaigns for political office and student council. We have all this history of Meghan. Every corner of that lady's life has been dug up and put in the public space. There isn't anything about Meghan that we really don't know, thanks to the tabloids and the news and all them. They've been doing the digging for years, and they've never found anything that would make the other shoe drop for her. Yet there are some people who are just like, I just simply don't trust it. I don't trust it. It's kind of like people see Harry. He seems to be a really nice guy. We don't have any history of him just being this wackadoo, no psychopath, no abusive man. The times that he did whoop ass was because you had a camera in his face and was trying to trigger him. But, Harry, for the most part, is just like the most likable royal. Since he's been born, he's been pretty much the most likable royal, the most popular royal every single year until his wife came along. So for people to still look at him, and y'all have been, not y'all, but the people who I'm speaking about, they've been watching this man since he was a baby. The day he left the hospital, a camera has been in his face, which, damn, Harry, I hate that for you. That sucks. But there isn't anything that man has done that we don't know about at this point. And for the stuff that we didn't know, he's already told us. Why are people waiting on the other shoe to drop? Like, it doesn't get more public than these two. Like, now me, I could come out and be a nice person, whatever. At least I try to be. And y'all might find out something crazy because my whole life hasn't been lived in front of a camera. Y'all might find out that I beat people up on the weekend. Like, you don't know, like, it's reasonable to be questionable or to question people that you don't know that much about, like myself or other YouTubers or singers or whoever else might have a little platform. When you meet me at this phase of life, I could be anybody, or I could have been anybody. So it makes sense to have a healthy level of doubt. But at this point, everything about these two people has either been done in front of a camera or told or investigated. Trust me, if there was something awful about either one of them, we would have heard about it, because they have been looking and they still look. So I don't get the hesitance about supporting them or leaning into conspiracies when everything is so easily disproven. I mean, I'm a YouTuber who spends a very small amount of time researching these things at this point. They're so easy to debunk or validate or verify. I mean, it's so easy to get the root of a story. So for people to still believe lies about them, that's an internal thing. That's the whole point of me saying this. That's an internal thing. I think people don't trust their own judgment, and I don't think people trust anybody or anyone that seems like they actually mean well by them, because we've all been a little bit jaded. I mean, look at our presidents. Like, my goodness, we've had some pretty shitty presidents, not just the orange president who just happens to be the worst president of all freaking time. I don't even consider that man a president. I feel like these are bye years. You know, like football, you get a bye week. I feel like this is just like America needs a break. We're just going to put a figurehead up there just to entertain you guys until we get another president lined up. Like, I don't even consider that man a real president. He is a toddler who's just sitting in the big chair, pushing buttons and being an asshole. But aside from him, we have had some pretty bad presidents and we've had some pretty great presidents. But for the most part, we have had a wild ride here in America in my only 37 years. What was going on before that, I feel bad for y'all because y'all were going through it. You had Watergate. Y'all had all kinds of stuff going on. And I just think people have, especially Americans, I think we've just gotten jaded. We just don't trust anything. And so we see two people that almost appear not perfect, but you just don't get these two type of people that often. There's always a skeleton. And in this case, there isn't. And I just don't think people are willing to trust anymore. And so if you find yourself on that fence, I'm not even going to vilify or demonize you. I kind of feel like I understand where you're coming from on that. But I would lean into my own understanding of how the world works and how to validate or verify information. And when I hear something about somebody, I'm just going to do some digging, or I'm just going to choose not to believe it until I have time to do digging. If you don't have time to research something, just don't believe it until you do. It's just that simple. You don't have to read a headline and say, oh, Harry kicked a puppy into the Thames River. Okay, great. Like, you don't have to believe that because he wasn't even there. You could just say, well, let's see who wrote this story. Well, let's see what their history is together. Is there any fact checking or validating going on? It's so easy to disprove these lies. So I know that at this point, when people believe them or lean into them or repeat them, even same thing with Beyonce. I had people come into my comment and was like, stop bringing up Beyonce. I don't like Beyonce. Have you heard what's going on with her husband? And I'm like, are you new here? Because if you even bother to research those allegations, you would know that there's nothing there. And that is playing out for a reason that has everything to do with the other person, not him. This is a payday. And regardless, that is not her, that is him. I'm talking about her, but people lean into misinformation. And as soon as they get something, they're just like, yes, I knew it. I was right. They're crazy. They're bad or whatever. And it's just like, no, some people just genuinely are good people. And there are people who target people like that. They cannot stand to see anyone on a pedestal, especially since they know that's not a pedestal they'll ever be able to sit upon. And I think that's also a big deal, especially with people like Kinsey Schofield, who's like, oh, it was supposed to be me. See, that kind of delusion, you really can't argue with that. You kind of have to let people just live in that world. You have to say, oh, okay, baby. Like my grandma, sometimes whenever somebody would try to debate her or argue with her, especially one of the young people, and she would just know, like, okay, through experience, I know that you're wrong, but that's something you're going to have to live. You're not going to be able to hear that from somebody. You're going to have to live that. She would just go, okay, baby. And that's how you knew, like, oh, wait, what did I miss? She knows something I don't. Like, that's the kind of energy you have to have for like the Kinsey Schofields of the world. Like, oh, okay, yeah. He had all that time to come find you though, didn't he? And he still didn't. Is anybody coming to find you? It's like, I doubt Harry was thinking about you, baby. I don't think Meghan had anything to do with that. I think that was all you. I think you just aren't likable. And so it's interesting when people center themselves, and two, you can tell that they're speaking from delusion. You just have to let them have that. But I was interfacing with a lot of that not too long ago. And especially with the LA fires thing, I was seeing some commentary, and it just seemed like people were angry that they were helping, but in the same breath saying they wanted Harry and Meghan to be more charitable. And I said, wait, but when they do the things, when they go out in many different ways, and when they give money, when they show up and do things in person, when they visit, when they offer resources, when they do those things, you say they're doing it for show. But in the same breath, you're saying they need to do more. Honestly, they're better than me, because I would be like, to hell with you. Like, people keep abusing them for no reason. I would have chunked the deuce a long time ago. The next move, no one would know where I was, because I know that has to get old, but that's just how committed they are to helping society. That's just how committed they are to their mission, because nothing can deter them. It reminds me of on what is it called? Beyonce's recent film of the Renaissance film, when she said people will keep throwing things at her and she won't give up. And she said eventually they'll see that she's relentless and they'll just be like, this bee won't give up. And genuinely, you have to be heart-led to have that kind of tenacity, because the type of people and the type of bullets that just go at them all the time, all the criticism, all the attacks, all the lies is where I kind of get pissed. I can take a lot. You can speak about me all day. You don't like my bun, that's your prerogative. You don't like my eyebrows. Most days I don't either, sweetie, but you don't like my necklace, that's okay too. Hate me all you want, but please don't lie on me. And the fact that they are so strong and they don't bother to fight that stuff anymore, my hat to them, or tip my bun to them, because I would have been done slapped somebody by now. I cannot stand to be lied on. I can take a lot. Don't lie on me. And I think that's why I take it a little personal when I can tell people are spreading misinformation about them. I've said for a long time, it is not my job to force people to like either one of them. I don't personally care who anybody likes. If you're watching me, more than likely you like them, or else why would you waste your own time? I don't watch things about Piers Morgan because I can't stand his ass. I'm not going to go on channels and be like, I hate Piers. Why are you talking about it? I'm just going to block that channel. So when people don't do that, I don't get it. But anyway, I don't care who likes and who doesn't like. That's their business. Do what you do. But you also don't have to make up stuff, and you don't have to spread made up stuff, and you don't have to spread negative propaganda about, like, that's where I'm like, okay, now you summon me, because they're not going to do it anymore. Now you've got their country friend in the South who's going to cuss your ass out because I'm sick of it. I've had it. Like, it drives me up a wall. Like, I just appointed myself the country cousin that you bring out whenever you stuff getting rough. I'm the Pookie for them, I guess, because I've had it. I have had it, and it gets old. And the thing is, the lies don't even be believable. Like, I feel like sometimes when I hear the things that people believe, I don't even really get mad at the lie or the liar. I be wanting to ask the person, like, and you believe that, baby? That crossed your threshold and went through every filter you have, and it came out clean for you. Do you need a hug? Like, that's when I'm like, damn, did you have a plate in your hand? Like you can tell a lot about a person about what they choose to believe. And at this point, so much information is available. If you dislike them, and that's your prerogative, that is a choice that they didn't contribute to. That was a choice. There's people who've literally commented to me and said they didn't like me. What am I supposed to do with that? Like, and I always respond with, what am I supposed to do with this information? Like, then why are you, like, I just genuinely don't get that. But again, we are living in an age where everybody has a microphone. Everybody has a keyboard. Everybody has a login and a username. Everybody has access to everybody. And I don't know that we're supposed to be this exposed to everybody's thoughts and commentary, because some people are dumb as hell. And I'm not even trying to be ugly. I just think some people should not have access to that many people or have a platform or an audience. Like, there's no reason a Jeremy Clarkson should have a microphone like that. You can't convince me that he offers anything to the world that multiple people need to hear it. Nothing would convince me of that. But not even that, but just like people who just want to be heard. And something that I have been learning a lot more about is just how many adults aren't really adults. They're wounded kids. And now that they're in the big adult body, they can finally do to others what was done to them, or what they perceived was done to them. And it's lashing out. It's kind of like some people will burn down the village just to feel it's warm. It's that kind of energy. And some of that I meet with compassion, but a lot of that I don't. And so just like the other day, I posted that I lost 36 pounds, and I was like, that's a big goal for me, because it was hard for me to lose 5. And now I'm 36 pounds down in a little over a month. Holy guacamole. And somebody commented and said, most people were really sweet. Everybody else was really sweet. This one person commented and said, that's really easy to do if you cut carbs and sugar. The way the people ate him up, I didn't even get to him first. I saw that and I was like, how lonely and sad must you be to be like, oh, I'm going to attack this stranger for an accomplishment that she's clearly proud of? Like, you could have just kept scrolling, but he decided to be rude. And I said, you know, happy people don't do that. You realize that, right? Like, happy people don't do what you just did. Good luck. And I hope you set a goal and accomplish it. And I hope you smash it to smithereens so that you can feel good about yourself. And hopefully when you do, there's not somebody hiding in the shadows to try to make you feel like shit about it, because you deserve to feel good and be happy, just like everyone else. Don't rain on people's parade. And that's all I said. Now, Sharion of old probably would have cussed him out and went and looked at his page and talked about him and his family, his old greasy granny. But now I'm just like, damn, that's one of them wounded kids. He's trying to burn down the village because he doesn't have any warmth. And it was probably eating him up that people were being so supportive. And other people started sharing their accomplishments, which got me super motivated, because at the time I was reading the comments, I didn't feel like going to the gym. And I was reading the comments, and one girl was like, I lost 42 pounds. And I said, damn it, let me get off the couch. Like, that was it. And so anyway, I say that to say, I have the right to decide what I will and will not respond to when it comes to me. But when it comes to other people, when I see you lying on other people, that pisses me off. That's not my apology to forgive or accept. So I typically go full throttle when I see people lying on Harry, Meghan, or Beyonce, or anybody who's just not out here bothering people. Because trust me, there are a lot of people you can willingly hate, and you will probably be okay with that. Like, you can go after Trump all day, and you will have my support. I will like every comment. Go after him. He is holding us hostage. Go after him. Go after Elon. Go after Mark. Go after all of them. Why are you bothering Harry and Meghan? Like, there are people actively trying to destroy our government, and you're mad at Harry and Meghan. Like, I don't get it. Make it make sense. And I think maybe the problem is me. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I just feel like this just so common. Why is the sense so common and missing so many people? And so anyway, that's why I get mad. Because I'll sit there and I'll be all right. I'll be like, liar, block. And then that 10th one, I'll say, you know what? I've had it. First of all, Harry never said, and I'll get in there and start arguing. I was like, okay, Sharion, stop. You need to go do your homework, girl. Stop. But anyway, oh, wow. Thank y'all so much. Y'all are being so sweet. Thank y'all. Yes. It took me a while to even get to the point where I was losing that. And congratulations, Gretchen. Gretchen said it took me a year and a half to lose 40 pounds because I am perimenopause. Okay, got it. Yes. It's hard work to lose weight. It's just hard work. First of all, it's a mental thing first. Like, you can do the stuff, but my problem really was bargaining with myself. Like, I could stick to something for a little while, but then I would reward myself way too much. And it got to the point where I would lose like 4 or 5 pounds and then I would gain 10 because I was celebrating the loss. And so I had to get to the point where I kept it real with myself. And then my doctor was like, listen, you got this surgery coming up, girl. This would be a good time to lose some of that visceral fat because it's going to delay your recovery. It's going to be a lot harder to recover if you have all this extra belly weight. And I was like, yeah, I got to do it. And so, and I have, and it's been really nice. And the motivation has been great because the more I feel better, the more excited I get about going back to the gym the next day and things like that. So, but I said that to say, when you're focused on self and when you're focused on putting good into the world, when you're focused on the things that matter, you don't have it in you to make up stuff to bother people about. Like, you just don't have it in you. You don't have it in you. When you come into rooms like this and you see Gwen Daniel and Gretchen Ciarlo and Heather Gillespie and V. Thomas and Lakiva McGee and Parita JT and Carol Lund, when you see people who are nice and warm and welcoming and fun to talk to and interesting, and you have these fun conversations, you're not about to walk out of this room where we're having a great time and then go be mean to somebody. And so that tells me everything I need to know about the people who go out of their way to just kind of spread hate or try to, because they're not in rooms like this. They don't have even this in their real life. They're not walking into a home that's welcoming them and miss them and happy to see them come back. They're not going to work where they're appreciated and acknowledged and loved and supported. They're not going into a relationship that they love being in and they're happy to be in, which is why these two trigger so many people, by the way. They're not having that. They're not getting to get up in the morning and look like this. But baby, most people don't. And so you can't be mad at Miss Meghan because Miss Meghan is beautiful. Most people don't wake up and look like Miss Meghan, but you got to look the best you can look. And you can't be worried about Miss Meghan. You got to worry about you. You got to look good for you. You got to look good as Susan. You got to look good as Michelle. You got to look good as Amanda. Not everybody can be Meghan. You got to go be you. And you got to love what you see. And if you don't love what you see, you got to put in the work to make yourself love what you see. You can't hate Meghan into not liking herself. You got to love you into loving you. And when you don't invest that time to love you, you go out and say things like losing 36 pounds is easy. Losing 36 pounds, that's easy. That's light work. Okay, then go lose 36 more. Oh, shoot, I don't know what you want me to say to that. Hopefully it is easy so I can lose another 36 and another 36. Hopefully what you are saying to me is true. But you have to be there for people the way that you want people to be there for you. And something tells me the people who go out and spread lies about these two, they're not that easy to be around. They're not that easy to support. They're probably not getting the love and support that these two generate just between each other. But the fact that they're surrounded by a whole network of people who love them in real life, and then they're surrounded by a whole network of people who support them all over the world, the squad, that would eat up a lot of lonely people. That eats up a lot of lonely people cannot stand to see other people be loved. Anyway, let me get off my soapbox. I just had to get that out because they get on my nerves. I can't stand the lying. I can't stand I don't like Harry and Meghan. And I had a community conversation phone call that I'm going to play for you guys later. But one of the things that I've noticed is no matter what, Meghan is damned if she does and she's damned if she doesn't. And that's why I love that she just doesn't care anymore. She's going to do what she's going to do. And if you like it, great. If you don't, I don't care. I love that she's moving the way she's moving now. I love that she has leaned back into what feels good for her. And she knows that not only does she have her own back, not only does her husband, her family, the people in her real life have her back, but that her fans and supporters have her back. And we'll always be louder than the people who dislike her. We will always be louder than the people who go out of their way to try to silence her. We will always be more energetic. We will always throw our money behind her. We will always throw our support behind her. And hopefully at some point they just get tired. Because I know I would get tired of being beat. I would get tired of being a loser. I would get tired of being embarrassing. I would get so tired if every time somebody breathed, I'm like, I can't stand your hair. I can't stand your fingernails. At some point, I would have to stop and be like, am I okay? And the answer is no. If you have attacked Meghan or Harry or anybody, and you're asking that question, let me answer for you. No, happy people don't do that kind of stuff. Happy people don't go after people. And I think they feel like, oh, they're rich, they're public figures, they're never going to feel the sting of this. But yeah, people are human. And you might just catch her on the wrong day where your comment happens to get through the filters. How does that make you feel? You want to make somebody feel bad? A mom, a wife, a person? Aside from her relationship to anyone else, she is a human being. She deserves a happy life, and she deserves to walk this earth knowing that she's supported and loved, or people are completely indifferent to her. But to hate her is crazy. I don't get that. There's enough people we really could be hating because they're doing hate-worthy things. Meghan is not one of them. Sorry for being on my soapbox, y'all. I got triggered. I'm so sorry. Let's go to the next segment and continue commenting, and I will respond once we get back. Sorry about the rant, y'all. I got mad. It's almost time for the Invictus Games, and I have a couple of Invictus-related updates. This update is coming to us from People magazine, and the title is Chris Martin Joins Opening Ceremony Headline Lineup for Prince Harry's Invictus Games in Canada. The Coldplay rocker will take the stage to celebrate the games next weekend, and this was written by Janine Henney. There's going to be a lineup full of stars at the opening ceremony of Prince Harry's Invictus Games in Canada. On January 31st, the Invictus Games announced that Chris Martin has joined the lineup for the opening ceremony of Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025 on Saturday, February 8th. The Coldplay frontman will perform at Invictus's kickoff event at BC's Palace in Vancouver and joins previously announced headliners Katy Perry, Nelly Furtado, Noah Kahan, and Roxanne Bruno. A statement said that Martin's performance will be a powerful tribute to hope, resilience, and the Invictus spirit at the heart of these games. And it's a little-known fact that the Grammy Award winner already has a special connection to Prince Harry's International Adaptive Sports Tournament for wounded, injured, and sick service personnel and veterans. The Sky Full of Stars singer composed the Invictus Anthem in 2014, the year that the Duke of Sussex launched the tournament, as inspired by William Ernest Henley's poem Invictus. The prose's powerful lines, "I am the master of my fate, I am the competition of my soul," sparked the competition's motto, "I am, and that's not all." Martin's music has served as the soundtrack to the medal ceremonies of every Invictus Games since, teeing his upcoming performance at the opening ceremony to be a full circle moment. Prince Harry, a former captain in the British Army who deployed twice to Afghanistan, launched the Invictus Games as a means for healing for veterans, and the upcoming cycle in Canada will be its 7th edition. Up to 550 athletes from up to 25 nations are expected to convene to compete in 11 adaptive sports at the upcoming games in Vancouver and Whistler, which runs from February 8th to the 16th. The opening ceremony lineup isn't the only starry concert on the calendar, as the Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler's closing ceremony will be headlined by Jelly Roll, Bare Naked Ladies, and the Warren Treaty. Robin McVicker, Chief Operating Officer of the Invictus Games, previously told People that the Duke of Sussex had input in the headlining acts. Yes, and the promos leading up to this have been so much fun. We've been thrilled to be able to work with him on the approach to the ceremonies. We've kept him posted about shortlists and what we're talking about. He's had input, McVicker told People. Commenting on the high-powered talent, she added, quote, "We are so honored and thrilled that so many incredible musicians want to be connected with the Invictus movement." Remember how I said earlier, all roads lead back to Beyonce? She and Chris Martin are best friends, which I just find that to be one of my favorite Hollywood friendships, but they're like super close. They call each other brother and sister, and I've always found that to be just so cute. And I wish we had more insight into their friendship, but I just think that's so funny because I made that joke, all roads lead back to Beyonce, and then her best friend is performing at the Invictus Games. But I actually did not know he was this intertwined in Invictus. As much research as I've done, and even having the opportunity to attend a couple of years ago, there's still so much that I learn about Invictus Games every cycle of the tournament. And I really love that. There's so much depth to the games themselves, but I also appreciate that over time it's building its lore. I just think that is so cool. So unfortunately, I am not able to attend. And y'all know I was fighting tooth and nail to be able to attend, but with my school schedule, I just simply cannot. And I tried to make it work, but I simply cannot. And I'm so heartbroken because it's right in Canada. It would not take me but a hop, skip, and a jump to get there. And honestly, I would love to leave the country for a little bit if we're just being honest. But unfortunately, this is just not my season to get to go. And I'm so sad. However, I know that some of you will be attending. So if you are updating about your experience, please feel free to share that with me. If you want me to share that on the channel, I'm always happy to do so in whatever way that you would like for me to do that. But also, if you're updating your social media with your experience, I would love to watch along and live vicariously through you. So feel free to share your handles and what platform you use in the comment section or live chat below, and I will come and follow you and comment on your experience. I certainly hope you have an amazing time. I only have had the opportunity to attend one Invictus Games, and that was in Germany. And that was kind of more of a full circle moment because I've been looking for an opportunity to go back to Germany. It had been so long. And so that was just such an amazing moment. And I really wanted to recreate as much of that as I could in Canada, but unfortunately, it just wasn't in the stars this time. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful time. I know you will. And so I could just kick myself because I really wanted to see the winter adaptive sports. But when I find out more information on where it's streaming and where I can watch these games, etc., especially that wheelchair rugby, y'all know how I got last time. But as soon as I get more information on that, then I'll definitely share what I can find. Or if you have information on that, like if there's somewhere we can stream it, please feel free to let me know. I would love to share that information so that we can all watch along. I just wanted to take a super short break to say, if you have not already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you are interested, feel free to participate in the live chat going on now, or feel free to leave a comment if you do not wish to engage in the live chat. Once again, I know I do this all the time. I'm enjoying a channel, I'm enjoying the video, I'm just having a great time, and I completely forget to hit subscribe. So please don't forget to hit subscribe. Don't forget to comment if you wish, and please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button so that the algorithm on YouTube knows that you like my content. Now, let's get back to the show. So I'm so happy for y'all who get to go. Just know that I am so jealous, but I'm happy for you guys. Thank you so much to Paretta JT for the super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. I saw your message. Marie Johnson says, don't beat up on yourself, Sharion. I do, because I really want to go, but I just could not make it work. I have too many tests this next 2 weeks. And I was just like, there's no way I'm going to be able to really do that and be traveling. So I have to sit this one out, but that doesn't mean I won't go in the future. So that just makes me even more determined to go to the next ones. And so that'll be in the UK, in Birmingham, I think. And so that's just another reason to go back. Now, I told y'all I'm scared of Heathrow because I'm always afraid King Charles is going to catch me and fight me because I'm always talking mess about him. But that's okay. I'll be there with my black eye if it just comes to that. So I will be there for sure. And I love the UK. Every time I've gone to the UK, I've had the time of my life. I've loved the UK. My mom used to take me and my sister all over Europe when my dad was in the army. And so I feel like every time I go back, I connect with that. I feel like I'm almost like going home almost, just because it's home to so many amazing memories. So it's not the worst thing that I'll go to the UK, but I did want to go to Canada. I did. I was excited about that. Hi, Lakiva McGee. Lakiva says, I would love to see Meghan and Harry cooking together. Yes, me too. Something tells me maybe in With Love Meghan season 1, we might not get that, but I do think at some point we will see him in the kitchen. I feel like that in my soul, maybe for a season finale, but if not, I'm just going to hold out hope that we'll see that at some point. Lakiva McGee says, Sharion, you're an awesome reader. Thank you so much. Honestly, I'm getting over a cold. I'm fully healed, but my throat is still really damaged from all the coughing I was doing for 5 days. And so I had to keep pausing and taking deep breaths and coming back to read it so that it didn't sound awful. So you saying this really makes my thank you so much. That effort was worth it, clearly, because I was half dead, girl. Hi, Jill. Is it Jill Sinanen? Jill says some of her haters make a living from being nasty, talking about Meghan. And yes, 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 yes. That's a big part of it. To me, that's blood money. It also just comes down to integrity. Like, y'all see, this is my granddaddy right here. He recently passed, but I'm so grateful that I had people like him, people like my grandma, people like my parents who operate with integrity and with character and taught me to operate in a way that I would want to represent myself. And it's not always about money. It's not always about being popular. Or my mom used to have this quote where she would say, I'd rather stand alone and stand on what I believe in than follow a crowd. And I completely agree. That has shaped everything about the way I operate. And so all money is not good money. All friendship isn't good friendship. All acknowledgement and accolades aren't good acknowledgement and accolades. You have to represent something important and something real. And you can only find out what's important by operating with integrity. And taking money to beat up on two innocent people, you might be able to spend that money now. But trust me, what it's going to do and the toll it's going to take on their soul, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. But maybe to them, they might not even feel anything. I think some of those people are just soulless cretins as well. I think they're bots. I think they're real NPCs on this earth, because some people just move mad. Some people move in a way that they really don't acknowledge the humanity in other people. And I'm like, there's no way you're a real person and you just don't understand how you impacted this person. I wonder, because something's really got to be tweaked up here for you to not feel what you do to other people. When people just hurt people aimlessly or just operate without any consideration to the impact that they have on others or the world, I really wonder if they're crazy, like genuinely insane, because I wouldn't feel good about myself. That's me. When I feel like I've gone too far or overstepped or said something mean, I'll double back and be like, hey, I'm sorry. I've apologized to people who probably deserve whatever I said to them. And I've still been like, yeah, that didn't sit right on my heart. I'm sorry. I can't imagine just operating like that and being mean and nasty and not thinking about that. Like, that doesn't cross people's mind. But I think some people are just genuinely insane, because there's no way you can't have consideration for others. But we see money, I guess, is worth it to them. Hi, Marie Johnson. Marie Johnson says there's no substitute for bread. So this was from a conversation that was happening about weight loss and diet changes. And I highlighted this because when I cut carbs, this was kind of like my operating system. Every morning I was so aware that I wasn't eating carbs, and it dawned on me how often I'm eating carbs. That was the hardest habit to break. But after 4 days, I stopped, the craving stopped. But those first 4 days, I thought I was going to go crazy. I wanted a biscuit so bad. I was like, my goodness, do I run on biscuits? Like, why am I craving biscuits like this? But I am from the South. But yes, I wanted all kinds of biscuit. I wanted the Hungry Jack layers, the Pillsbury layers, the croissants. I wanted the bread. I wanted all of it. I wanted biscuits and bread. It was like never before. But after 4 days, the craving stopped. I haven't even noticed the omission from my diet. Hi, Heather Gillespie. Heather Gillespie says, kind of like when Kate was missing and the squatties were the ones looking for her. That is a wonderful example. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. So even when the squatties don't like someone, we still acknowledge their humanity. And that's how you knew that the people who support her don't support her at all. She's used as a figurehead and a whipping stick against people they don't like, i.e. people who are either women or people of color, or support women and people of color. And so you can tell who really was rocking with Kate, because they weren't concerned at all. And we were like, okay, listen, I don't like the girl, but I don't want her to be dead or nothing. Like, goodness gracious. And it seemed like every squatty who had a channel or platform was kind of saying the same thing. Like, y'all, I don't like Kate either, but is no one concerned? Like, we were all just kind of like, yo, I don't want to support the lady, but something is wrong. And to this day, we will never get the truth about what was going on. I really want to know what was happening. I still have my theories, but since they have been disputed, I won't keep pushing them. But I feel in my heart of hearts, something real dark and real bad was happening with her or concerning her, or she was involved in something. I know a lot of people think that it was a holdout for divorce. And in the back of my mind, I kind of feel that way too. I kind of feel like it has something to do with their relationship was in deep trouble. And I think the reason I feel that way, especially, is because those tester articles kept coming out. Like, it felt like they were trying to hint around the fact that she had either left him or she had been left. And they were trying to say it without saying it. And it was coming from their reporters, the people who typically report on them in a positive way. They were hinting at something. And it just felt like everyone was dancing around something everybody knew. And when she popped back up, I was like, okay, cool. At least I know she's not, because I thought mama was out of here. But we were concerned, and we sure didn't have to be. And her own fans weren't concerned about her. So yes, it's crazy that even the squad even we can acknowledge when you've done wrong and we can hold you accountable. We can still recognize that you're a human being and concern ourselves with your livelihood. But I think that's where the line is drawn. I think there are a lot of people who are just genuinely consumed with hate. And then there are people who are like, no, I'm going to hold you accountable, but I'm also not going to be an awful person. Like, I'm going to support Meghan, and I'm going to defend Meghan, and I'm going to dislike you. Now, you will be disliked, Kate, but I don't want you to be dead. So I feel like there's a line there that we cannot cross. And I feel like her fans, they don't know where that line is. They don't know where that line is at all. Hi, Carol Lund. Carol Lund says that one thing is they don't have love for themselves. And there it is. That's it. People who love themselves treat others and the world very differently than those who don't. You can truly tell who loves and respects themselves because there's just some things they will not get caught doing. They're not going to try to pull anybody down. They're not going to try to hurt anybody. They're not going to delight in anyone's downfall. And so when you see people doing those things, those are telltale signs that that person is deeply, deeply wounded. Deeply wounded, probably by several different things. And so people who love themselves don't behave like derangers behave. You are absolutely right. Hi, Carolina Ramir. It's nice to see you. And what a great profile picture. She says, I'm going to go, but only for the last 3 days. I hope you have an amazing time, and I will be rooting for you to have a wonderful time from afar. Just know, I wish I was there too. Hey, Queen Verta Sanchez is here. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. We have one more segment, and then we're going to resume the conversation when I return. It's time for our first community conversation of 2025. It's been a while since we've done this segment. So basically, this is the segment where I play voicemails and messages left for me by you guys, and we get a chance to respond in the live chat, in the comment section, or in the live stream after the recordings are done. And just a reminder that these are kept anonymous unless you explicitly say that I can share your name. I just like to protect everyone's privacy, and I know the kind of hate that I can get sometimes, and so I don't want to direct that to any of you guys. But if you are open to being named and you want to be named, if you say so in the beginning of your message, I will leave your name in. So now let's get into the community conversation.
Really wanted to leave a message for your channel in reference to the Duchess of Sussex, our Black American Princess Meghan Markle, as it relates to a lot of the fake, unwarranted outrage for her and Harry being of service in light of the LA wildfires disaster. I am not sure if you've touched on this yet on any of your lives. However, I felt compelled because I typically try and ignore these derangers, if you will, but this particular sort of piled on from two women over at The View, which happened, I think, maybe 24 hours ago on maybe Tuesday, I believe the show aired, where Sarah Haynes and Alyssa were basically saying that they felt Meghan's, well, it was not about the wildfires, my apologies, but it was about Meghan's show with Love Meghan, her Netflix special or show that's going to be airing now this March. They made comments to me that really felt like it came from a place of true envy. Alyssa stating that she felt Meghan was being tone deaf with everything that's going on. You know, no one, has time to, really get involved or watch a show where she's gardening, where she's living her kind of wealthy lifestyle, if you will. And I'm paraphrasing. She's cooking 4 or 5 course meals. Alyssa alluded to the fact that she's working full time. Who has time to do that? And that she really likes Meghan and she wishes that, or she likes it when Meghan sticks to the charitable and philanthropy that she's also involved in, as if she can't walk and chew gum at the same time, right? And then Sarah chimed in about her being maybe not as authentic because the show is being filmed in a rental property, not her own home, and also gardening. And it just really made me think about first of all, it's not Meghan's responsibility to heal the world. What she does is by choice. She is a wealthy woman now, and she has always been charitable. That's not something she has to do, but she does it. And then when I think about the fact that there are so many other women, specifically non-Black women, white women, if you will, who promote their brands, who live their wealthy lives, in spite of all of the injustices that have always existed in this country, especially when it's pertaining to Black Americans, right? So we've lived through, or you've lived through not you in particular, but we've had instances of Jim Crow, where people still live their lives. For Sarah Haynes and Alyssa to imply that Meghan is being inauthentic for not filming in her home, when a lot of other people like Martha Stewart, even Ina, Rachel Ray, they don't always film shows in their homes. And then Sarah mentioned Meghan being inauthentic, and I'm just like, she's been receiving death threats. Her children have been threatened. Her husband has also been threatened. Why would she want to film in her actual home, considering the derangers that are out there? So I think it was a smart choice, and it doesn't make her inauthentic because she's still sharing things that she has always been interested in and has always sort of practiced with her lifestyle brand, The Tig. So for Alyssa to also allude that this woman cannot promote this show because there's so much going on in the world, I would ask Alyssa, what about the others that promote their brands with so much going on in the world? What about white women who have always promoted their privilege, who have always flaunted the wealth, the ones that are, in spite of all of the injustices that have happened in this country and around the world, particularly as it pertains to Black Americans and other people of color? There has never been this call for them to stop living their lives. It's almost as if she cannot be a wealthy, biracial Black woman who can walk and chew gum at the same time while also enjoying her wealth, but still being charitable, still having the spirit of philanthropy, and still wanting to give back. And I just thought it was so shallow, and it felt like it came from a place, maybe not straight misogyny on their part, or maybe not even straight racism on their part, but I think envy. Because here it is, this self-made, wealthy Black American woman who is super intelligent, gorgeous, seemed to be extremely kind-hearted. She's also charitable, and she wants to share her life and bring a little joy. And I just thought it was so hypocritical for Sarah Haynes and Alyssa to critique her in that way when they don't call out the Kardashians, who constantly promote their brands. They don't call out Gwyneth Paltrow. They don't call out Martha Stewart, because the world has never been a very peaceful place. There's always some turmoil going on, and it's not Meghan's responsibility to halt her life. And she is doing her part because she is charitable when she doesn't even have to be. That's all. Thank you so much, and peace.
Thank you so much for your commentary. It is always a pleasure to see your commentary on all social platforms, but I really appreciate you calling in. And yes, I agree with you 100%. As a matter of fact, I have nothing to add to that. Like, you hit the nail on the head. I saw some of that commentary from The View, and as always, I was disappointed. The View and I have tussled a couple of times. Like, I used to just really harass them on Twitter, and I know they can't stand my Black ass. But just to be very fair, they are, well, not everyone on The View, but from time to time, each person has irritated my soul at some point or another. But yes, these comments in particular about Meghan being, quote, tone deaf and all these things, you hit the nail on the head. Meghan doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to do. I think they forget that just because she's a public figure, that they forget she does not hold a public office. Meghan is not an elected official. She doesn't have to do anything she doesn't feel like doing. The fact that she not only does anything, we should be grateful for it, but the fact that she does so much. And mind you, she is not using public funds to do those things. She and Harry are using their resources. Everything they do is derived from them and their hard work. To have any entitlement on a private citizen's money or their time or their contributions is absolutely crazy. And I love that you made the point that they don't apply those same rules to other celebrities and public figures. Even people who literally their whole brand is being mega rich. How often do we hear about another Kardashian pretending to be a billionaire? How often do we hear about another singer, rapper, actor, whatever, hitting the billionaire mark? But those same rules and metrics aren't applied to them. Meanwhile, Meghan has yet to ever talk about money in a public capacity at all. At all. We know what we've heard, but at no point has she ever confirmed how much she gets paid for any one thing. We don't know. The only thing we do know is about their exit from the royal family and what Harry was able to obtain. And that was a long time ago. That has nothing to do with today. She has never been one to be boastful about how much money she has or how much money she makes. So the fact that they like to apply these ridiculous rules and strings that they attach to anything that she or Harry does, you're absolutely right. It's hypocritical. That's part of the reason why I didn't even get a chance to really talk about it as much, because so much was going on at that time that I didn't even get a chance to circle back. But I'm so glad I listened to your voicemail, because you're right. Meghan doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to do. And the fact that they are looking for these phantom reasons to continue to hate her. And it's always, I love that you brought this up. Like, that's why I said I have nothing to add to what you said. I love that you brought this up, because it's always under that guise of, which I feel like they're really just trying to say, I'm not racist, I promise. But really, what they always do that thing where they say, I like Meghan, but if you like Meghan, then you shouldn't have said but. What does that have to do with your critic? I criticize people all the time. I criticize people that I like. I criticize people that I don't like. But what I don't do is go fishing for something to criticize. That's the difference. And I feel like with people who pretend to like Meghan and people who force themselves not to like Meghan, they have the same thing in common. They force themselves to find these random phantom things to hate about her. They just want to be part of the group. They want to be part of the masses to find something they don't like about her. And you hit, once again, the nail on the head. Jealousy, because they don't say anything about Gwyneth Paltrow's rich ass doing what she wants to do. They don't say anything about the Kardashians. They don't say anything about Kris Jenner. They don't say anything about Kanye West. They don't say anything about these very mega rich people that they love throwing in our face how rich they are. I mean, that's their whole brand, is being out of touch, posh, and rich. But they don't get hit with the same you need to be doing more stick that Meghan and Harry get hit with. Meanwhile, their whole brand is giving back and helping the world. Also, when you made the point, when you brought up that she said, I like when Meghan focuses on charity and blah, blah, blah. First of all, again, you don't have, not you who I'm speaking to, but I'm talking about the comment that was made from the person on The View. You don't have the right to tell Meghan what she should and should not focus on. If you enjoy when she focuses on one thing or another, then enjoy that. But that doesn't mean you get to criticize when she does anything else. Is Meghan not allowed to be multifaceted because she is a private citizen and a whole human being? She is allowed to be and do and feel and portray whatever the hell she wants to. She absolutely does not have to be a charitable robot. And I love that you brought the fact up that she has always been charitable. Meghan didn't wait until she became mega wealthy to be charitable. That was in her spirit. Some people have it, some people don't, because you can give back when you have very little and you can give back when you have a lot. And unfortunately for us, especially those of us here in America in a capitalistic society, a whole lot of people who have a whole lot don't even give back what they should be required to. They hire lawyers to get them out of paying things that they should be paying. So they're damn sure not going to come up off anything willingly. But Meghan, who willingly gives back, who willingly does more than she should ever be required to do, because she's not required to do anything. Meghan, who gives and gives and gives, now that's the only thing she's allowed to do. That sounds a hell of a lot like shut up and dribble, doesn't it? It sounds a hell of a lot like, okay, dance puppet. I want you to dance, monkey. Do what I want you to do. But you're not allowed to do anything or have any agency or autonomy over yourself because you're a public figure. And I want you to do what I want you to do because I want to feel like I have a sense of control, because how dare you be rich and black? How dare you? It's just another form of people beating her over the head with these unfair, unrealistic expectations that they're not even in a position to be entitled to. Who are they to tell Meghan or anybody else what they should and should not do when it comes to the fact that they should be telling their public officials what they should do, and they are mums the word about that? I don't see you calling out the president. I don't see you calling out his ridiculous cabinet and his unelected officials who's stealing our information. I don't see you calling out people who are actually inhibiting our livelihoods. But Meghan, a private citizen, a celebrity, and a public figure who is not entitled to do a damn thing for me or anyone else, she's the one on the chopping block because she decided to show us a glimpse into what she's interested in. I don't know about you, but in every generation, every phase of life, every decade, we have had our problems as a society, as a world, as a country. Every decade, we have been faced with major societal issues. At no point have we ever lived in a perfect America. And honestly, because it was derived from racism, we're never going to live in a perfect America. There will always be a good fight to fight. That doesn't mean we can't enjoy ourselves. I love that you made up the fact that Meghan can't walk and chew gum. She can't be charitable and have fun. Like, my goodness, I want to see with love Meghan. I enjoy that. And also, since you know what? I said I didn't have anything to add, and I've been going for 6 minutes. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. I promise. But I also despise that perspective of that's not realistic. Meghan didn't say she was realistic. Did Meghan come by and say, I'm your neighbor homegirl? Did Meghan come by and say, hey girl, I'm going with you down to the HUD office? Did Meghan say, hey girl, let's split these food stamps? No, Meghan didn't say a damn thing other than take a peek in the things I like. Just like everybody else. There's so many different shows and channels. There's a whole network dedicated to this niche market. But because Meghan is who she is, she's not allowed to enjoy herself. She's not allowed to provide her fans with a bit of escapism. She's not allowed to entertain us. Something, again, she's not required to do. I think people forget that Meghan and Harry are mega rich and they could literally just go buy an island and go live and be happy. And honestly, good for them being who they are, because if it were me, you damn right I would. I wouldn't even have a phone. I would go buy an island, a private boat, and a private plane, and nobody would see me. Y'all would be like, where the hell did Sharion go? Girl, she got rich, hit the lotto, and she said, bye. Whole channel just gone. I wouldn't talk to anybody except my fine ass husband and my beautiful kids and my lovely family. No one would see me again. I would be holed up with the prince and the babies like nobody's business. Nobody would see me. We would never wear shoes again. Anytime they saw me, they would have to fly an aircraft over my island. And even then, I'd shoot it down. At no point would I be out here giving people what they do not deserve if I got treated like Meghan. So that's why they better be glad it was Meghan who's living the way she's living, and she chooses to be as charitable as she is. Because although I love humanity, the way that humanity has treated Meghan, I would say deuces and go be rich, fabulous, and happy and ignore everybody. They got the right one. Because at some point you have to ask, why am I asking a private person, a private citizen, a non-public official to do any damn thing when I'm sitting my big-headed ass up on The View getting paid for this right here? And I haven't said anything about my own contribution. Ma'am, you are occupying a seat on The View. How much of your check are you giving? I don't see you giving anything. And mind you, I don't see The View solving any societal issues. So should we not tune into The View? Because that didn't solve any problems. That didn't save anything. That didn't get Kamala elected. That didn't feed anybody. That didn't bring down the price of eggs. So should we not watch The View? Should every single thing we consume be for our betterment in some way? Should everything we consume fix a societal issue? Should everything we consume equate monetary gain in our own personal lives? Or is that just absolutely ridiculous? So why in the hell can't Meghan have With Love Meghan? You know what? If for no other reason, I'll solve this right now. Meghan made With Love Meghan for me. Me by myself. Nobody else has to be entertained. That was for me specifically. So the next person that asks, why did Meghan do it? Because I asked her to. How about that? Because I asked her to. Now go on. Find something else to do. People going on tour. And mind you, I'm going to the Cowboy Carter tour. So I am not hating on it. I'm so glad Beyonce's going on tour. I need a break from this weird country that we live in. Yes, ma'am. Please give me some escapism and let me dance and have some fun. But Beyonce is going on tour. Beyonce going on tour. There's a new movie coming out every month. There's new shows being debuted. Hulu canceling shows every other day. There's new celebrities being introduced. New singers dropping albums. Everybody is continuing to live. We are always going to have societal issues, but Meghan can't drop any content that is eagerly wanted, by the way. She's not forcing anything on anybody. Meghan didn't say, hey, heifers at The View, watch my show. She didn't say a damn thing other than watch me cook and have fun with my friends. What is the harm in that? Have we completely become devoid of joy? If you want to criticize somebody, criticize that orange sack of shit who stole a presidency and is abusing the American people for not electing him in the last election. Please go abuse that fool and why he's giving our private information to his little squarehead buddy who's not even an American. Go talk about that. Talk about people who are actually inhibiting our lives. Not Meghan, whose only mission is to make the world a better place. And she's doing a damn good job. And if no one else appreciated Meghan, I appreciate it. Anyway, y'all, I'm so sorry. This thing went on way too long. Anyway, your comment was amazing. I'm not going to say your name because I did not hear you give me permission to do that. But if you want to identify yourself in the comments because your comments were beautiful, please feel free to do so. So clearly I got triggered. I clearly got triggered. I'm listening to that back for the first time because I just recorded it and then put it into the live stream deck. I didn't realize how long I was going on, but I obviously was feeling away because criticizing Meghan is a waste of time. First of all, she doesn't care. 2, it's not going to stop anything. And then 3, there's no need for it. She hasn't done anything to anybody. So to hold her to a higher standard than you're literally holding the president of the United States, I have to ask, are you well? And no, the people on The View who made those comments are not well. Because the way, if I were Meghan, thank you, ma'am, for your contribution. Thank you for sharing yourself with us, Meghan. Thank you for giving us more than we as a society deserve because we've been unkind to you. And I've never been unkind to Meghan, but I'm speaking as a whole. We have not protected this woman. We should be protecting this woman, especially us Americans, especially us minority Americans. We should be protecting this woman. This woman did the best she could, despite everything. And even then, she came home and kept doing the best she could when she could have told all of us to screw off and go on about our business. This woman has given more to the world than our elected officials, including Harry, too. I'm including him in this, but the conversation is about her because of her show. But Meghan has given way more to people, not just in America either, to the UK too. And I know how y'all treated her. And she still does for y'all. She still messages SmartWorks. She still talks about the people from the community hub, community kitchen. She still contributes. She still does more than she should ever be required to do because she's not required to do anything, by the way. This is all choices that she's making. This woman has been real good to us. She's been real good to us. And we all saw her. Thank you for asking how I am. Most people haven't asked how I'm doing. We saw that. We saw her cry. We saw her struggle. We saw her bravely sit up with Oprah and talk about a harrowing experience. We saw her bravely talk to the Netflix producers about her experience with Harry and Meghan, the docuseries. We've seen her push through. We all saw her standing on those balconies with that ugly heifer Sophie, and we saw her get isolated at the funeral. We saw this woman put up with stuff I would not have, because I would have slapped everybody in the royal family. When y'all saw the rest of the royal family show up at that procession, they all would have had a red hand mark on the side of their face, and my hand would have been swollen. I would have been busy. Y'all better be glad you got the right one. Meghan has done more for people than she ever should have, and she's still going. And we should be thankful for that. We should hope that more people follow her. See, we don't want to put her down, right? We want more people to do what she does. We want more people who have her resources or something similar to do what she does. So why are we shooting our birds and our planes out of the sky? We want them to fly, right? We want them to help us, right? We want them to use their platforms to make the world a better place. We want them to invest in scholarships that send our babies to school, especially since that orange sack of shit is trying to gut the Department of Education. We want people like her. We want people like him. We want people like her. We want these people out here making an example for the rest of them who have the means to make this world a better place, because it's clear our governments are trying to kill us. So we want people who are actually doing right to keep doing right. And we want them to inspire other people to do right, right? So why are you imploding the very little bit of good we have in this world? Why? Why do that? Why attack them? See, the way Meghan is set up, Meghan's a better woman than me. Because the way I would have had 15 more redheaded babies, y'all would have been like, dang, Harry got another baby? Y'all wouldn't see me, but you'd see them babies popping out every other year. I would have a new baby. I wouldn't be worried about nothing. I'd get on my island, live in my bungalow, have my private plane, fish for my own food. I wouldn't have nothing to do with nobody except this one right here. And every month it'd be a new baby. You would have a little army of redheads. You'd be like, well, she been busy. That's where she been, because that's all I would be worried about. the fact that she lets him out of the house or he lets her out of the house, we should be thankful, because could you imagine waking up to one or the other and going anywhere else? No. See, the way I'm set up, if this was mine right here, we headed to a private island and don't call. Don't bother. I don't care what you say about me, but you can't say I'm unhappy. That's the one thing you can't say, because it would be a new redhead every 9 months and y'all wouldn't have boo to say about it and I wouldn't care. But instead, that woman takes her precious time that she could be spending doing lots of other more fun things, and she gives it to the world, and people mad at her for it. And you want to know why people are mad at her? Because they don't have this right here. You want to know why people mad at him? Because they don't have that right there. That's really it. That's it. Because trust and believe. Let me just hush, because I'll say that I said what I had to say. Y'all better be grateful that lady leaves the house. She does a lot of good, and she doesn't have to. And if no one else appreciates her, I know the people in this room do. And I know I do. I appreciate Meghan. I appreciate Harry, because they don't have to do that. And when people go and lambast the people out here doing good, do you think that inspires the other people to do good? And those same people will say things like, oh, well, we don't have enough social programs, or, oh, the Department of Justice is going away. We might not have financial aid anymore. Yeah, you think? So those scholarships aren't looking so bad now, are they? So you're not mad at Sussex Seal no more. Now when it's at the bottom of your child's scholarship letter, right? So why don't we, instead of waiting till it applies to us specifically, why don't we zoom out a little bit and say, hey, they're doing a hell of a lot more than our elected officials. Instead of holding them to task, why don't I call my elected officials and say, look at what Harry and Meghan are doing. What the hell have you been doing all day? Hey, Senator, I saw how you voted. You want to explain yourself? Why aren't you writing letters? See, Miss Meghan, she'll get on her pen and paper and write a letter when something pisses her off. Ask Johnson & Johnson. I know they still mad at her. Was it Johnson? Whoever it was, asked them. She wrote a letter as a child. Meghan doing more than our elected officials at age 11. But she's the problem. This is why I don't do live streams. Because usually when I'm pre-recorded, I would have paused this and said, okay, we hear you. We're going to cut some of that out. I would have stopped by now. But see, I can't stand hypocrisy. I know how hard it is to get up every morning and work and pay bills. I know how hard it is to get up and put effort into this world when this world is taking everything from me and then some. I know how hard it is to do a thankless damn job. I know how hard it is to pull yourself together when you are all you have and push through, because it's the only option you have. And if you don't, you won't be here, because there's nobody to save you but you. I know how hard that is. So when I see people not only doing that, but then some, you out of your mind for criticizing them. Out of your freaking mind. I'm so proud of them. If nobody else is proud of them, and I know the people in this room, I'm excluding us, but I know the squatties care. But I just don't see, even if you don't like Harry and Meghan, let's say you don't like Harry and Meghan, maybe you don't like, I don't know, Meghan's hair, maybe you don't like Harry's thumbs, I don't know, whatever ridiculous reason you hate them. But you can't say they're not doing good. So we got to start separating fact from fiction. If you don't like Harry and Meghan, I'm gonna need you to come up off a real reason, because you can't say they did anything to you. You can't say they did anything that hurt you or inhibited you in any way. So all you can say is I'm a bum hater and I don't like people doing better than me, because it should have been me. I should have been at that altar. It should have been me. I should have been the one meeting Meghan at the Soho House. It should have been me. Say what's really making you mad. That you got to go home to your brown-toothed wife with her brittle-ass hair, and you see Harry out here going home to this beautiful queen, and you mad about it. So you get online and say, I can't stand Meghan because no, you can't stand Bertha because you don't like Bertha because you go home to Bertha. Go take up your grievances with yourself and with Bertha. Leave Meghan and Harry alone. You sitting here mad at Meghan because you got to go home to Peter Cottontail and he got a landing strip down the middle and bug eyes and big teeth, and you can't stand him because he's not a provider. He don't take up for you. He wouldn't have walked away from his family to protect you. He probably would have been joining them talking shit about you. You sitting outside on Thanksgiving because you mad and got an attitude because his family don't like you and he couldn't give a damn. But then you see this prince who's protecting his princess against all odds, against insurmountable odds. I mean, you had a whole an institution against her. And this man said, you don't get me without her. Bye. But you got to go home to Peter Cottontail and say, well, honey, you won't even stop watching football to say hello to me when I come in from work. Damn, Meghan. No. Meghan didn't put you in that unhappy marriage, boo. Meghan didn't take Peter Cottontail's hair. Meghan didn't make your hair brittle. Meghan didn't make Peter Cottontail's eyes bug. Meghan didn't make your two front teeth brown. Meghan didn't do that to you. You did that to you. Go take care of yourself. Go brush with toothpaste with fluoride in it, baby. Go eat something with some calcium in it, baby. Make them teeth white. Go get your teeth clean. Go get your eyes looked at. Go get yourself together. Don't be mad at Meghan. Be mad at you. Be mad at Peter Cottontail because all he want to do is sit in front of ESPN until it's bedtime. Then he want to go home, roll over and do what he do and then go back to sleep. Ain't thinking about you whatsoever. And you got to go home. You done got you a new nightgown. He couldn't give a damn. But you go up and you see Meghan and Harry happy and you're like, damn, this they fault I'm with Peter Cottontail. No, baby, leave that man. That's who you mad at. You're mad at yourself, not Harry and Meghan. I can't stand for people to project. As someone who has been projected on, I literally, y'all, I have stories for days. When I decided to retire, which turned into a temporary retirement, but when I decided to retire, and people realized my husband, he's already a good-looking man. That's my boo. Where you at, boo? That's my boo right there. That's my man. He is handsome. He's very sweet, tall drink of water too. Big chocolate drink of water. I love my boo. And good job, good man. He's an amazing person. Always has been. He's a good person. He's good to everybody. Even before I met him, he's good to everybody. I tried to look up people that he, met before, dated before to kind of get an idea of who he was because he seemed too good to be true. I too have been jaded. I was like, nah, he's too good to be true. I'm asking all our mutuals and everybody's like, he is a sweetheart. And he is. We've been together 12 years. He is a sweetheart. When people found out he was all those things and I didn't have to work if I didn't feel like it. Not I couldn't work. Not I didn't feel like it. He said, you ain't got to work if you don't want to. I said, oh, well, I wanted a new car. He was like, okay. And he bought me a Range Rover. When I tell you, he works his butt off now. He works hard. When I tell you the hate that came my way from people who I thought cared about me, the stuff that was being said, oh, you should be working. Why are you sitting your ass at home? I don't got to. Because I can. Because I want to. He said I can put my safety net in place and I felt good about it. I said, and it took years because this is years from him saying, you don't have to put up with this shit. Anytime I had a bad day at work, he was like, I'm just wondering why you're still mad about it. I'm wondering why you didn't just come home and say, you know what, screw it. And you know what? One day he called me on the right day. I said, you know what? Me too. And I decided to retire, which ended up being a little temporary break. But the hate that came my way, suddenly I couldn't do anything right, according to these people. Suddenly my head was big, which they kind of got me there. My head is big. I didn't say they lied on me, but suddenly I couldn't do nothing right. I couldn't smile right. My channel sucked. I was stupid. I needed to get my degree, which I did, but people were saying some awful things, attitudes for no reason. I would go around people I thought I cared about. I'd be like, hey, how you doing? Hey. Dry. I'm like, dang, what's the issue? That's your new car? Better hope he don't take it from you. Can't take something that's in my name, boo. You can't take things that belong to you, boo. And see, that's the thing. See, I can't help that people are jaded. I can't help that I trust my husband. And should he ever do something that I can't trust, guess what? We're going to move on. What's the next experience life got for me? God gonna always show you how good it can get. What did Duchess say? God can show you how good it can get. God gonna show you that. You don't have to worry, but nothing is determined to the right. Right now is good, but it might not always be good. We're gonna have our trials and tribulations like we always have. We always gonna have problems. But guess what? My default is that I trust God, and God has always got my back. So I don't have to be mad at people doing better than me. And I don't have to be bitter when I'm not doing as good as I want to be doing, because I know it's always going to get better. And you know why? Because it always has. So I don't have to sit across from my man, Peter Cottontail, with the landing strip and the bug eyes and the big teeth. And I don't have to sit and take that because I know I'm worth more, because I don't want to look at this buffoon. I want to go look at somebody that I enjoy. And so I did. I went and married somebody that I enjoy looking at across my breakfast table. And I don't have to sit around and be mad at Meghan because she's sitting around across from this redhead drink of water, because I got my own drink of water. And so I can be happy for her because I know what I go home to and what I enjoy, what I like, what I have a good time waking up to, how happy I am. And when I have a bad day, Guess what? I don't look at Meghan and say, well, I'm having a bad day. I hope her day is worse. Guess what I say? She's an example of that. It gets better. I can look at her and actually say, hey, she's had some pretty damn bad days, but it gets better. Look at what she came from, what she went through, what she dealt with. Look at her daddy. Mama has paid all the debt she will ever need to pay. It needs to only get good and better from here for Meghan because she's already paid the ultimate debt. That woman's daddy is a piece of crap. Anybody born to a father like that deserves the world for putting up with that. What that man did to her, just her daddy alone. And that wasn't her only trial and tribulation. So just that alone, Meghan deserves the world because she's been through all the trials and tribulations. He is such a piece of crap. But anyway, when I'm having a bad day, I don't look at her and say, well, who does she think she is making a 5-course meal when all I can afford is a pack of noodles? I'm just going to say, you know what? I'm going to watch Meghan and see if there's something I can do to these noodles to spruce up these noodles, make them good. I'm going to get some good noodles out of this. I'm going to watch Meghan and see what she pull out of her garden. Maybe I can go in here and find some of these limp vegetables to spruce them up and put them in my noodles. You don't have to be a hater just because you don't have it like somebody else. There have been days I've had my car pull over on the side of the road and it's completely gone. And I had to get a bottle of water out of the back and spruce it up and do what I needed to do to get home. And I've seen friends of mine drive by and they brand new Mustangs and they brand new Chargers. And I'm like, dang, I bet that's real nice. They got AC. They got an AC and they riding around with their CD player at work and they can leave the house and know that they're going to make it to where they're going one day. And one day came. What I didn't say is she thinks she all that with her Mustang. I said, dang, it must be nice to drive a Mustang. That's a nice car. Good for her. And went on about my business. Because you don't have to be, that's a choice to be a hater. Everybody has trials and tribulations. Trust and believe. If the two most beautiful couple in the world, the two people, the most beautiful couple in the world, very successful people individually and together can have bad days, we all gonna have bad days. But instead of looking at them and being mad at them about having not the same kind of bad days you have, why don't you look at them and say, look how they made it through. It's always gonna get better. And you don't have to be bitter. You don't have to be angry. You can just trust that God got your back and it's going to get better. And instead of projecting out, look in. Why am I bitter? I've had hater moments. Listen, if I can call everybody else out, I can call myself out. I have had hater moments in high school when people were doing good and maybe I wasn't doing so hot. I would have moments where I was like, dang, they have everything. I have to work so much harder to have this stuff. This is so annoying. But guess what happened? When I entered the workforce, I wasn't afraid of hard work. I had calluses on my hands. I was popping knuckles every morning. I was going to work every morning, setting up all kinds of stuff, setting up the city council meetings, setting up press reviews and press junkets and getting people coffee and doing all kinds of stuff. So when it came time for people to get my coffee, I knew I had earned that. I knew that I wasn't a hater. I said, you know what? I'm going to learn as much as I can from this person and from that person. I'm going to do every little menial task they have for me because every little task matters. And when I'm in their position, I'll know how much this matters so I can do that job. And that's exactly what happened. And I went on to do better things. I didn't sit around bitter and mad because other people had other advantages. Everybody's going to have an advantage over you at some point. You are not the biggest, baddest, best thing in the world. Somebody going to always be prettier. Somebody gonna always have a better bun. You think this the best bun in the world? I'm gonna walk outside and see somebody else with an even better bun. Now that might actually hurt. Wait a minute. Now if you want to see me have a bitter moment, you have a better bun than me. Now wait a minute. That's where I draw the line. You better take that bun down. I'm the bun around here. I'm the big bun in the South. But no, somebody might go outside and have a better bun than me. Somebody might go outside and have a better car than me. Somebody might have a better apartment or a better house or a better dog. No, nobody gonna have a better dog. But you know what I mean. Enjoy that for them. You don't project on other people. You don't get mad that Beyonce won a country album of the year Grammy or an album of the year. She got an AOD. You don't be mad about that. You congratulate her. And then you get your butt in the studio and work harder. You don't try to hold her off from your CMAs because then she's just going to go to the Grammys and get the recognition you tried to deny her. Or she's going to perform on Christmas Day with the album you tried to suppress. She's going to go and do it because it's in her destiny to do it. And if you were less focused on hurting her and more focused on elevating you, you too would have your wins. And so when you're mad at Meghan because Meghan has a beautiful home and beautiful kids and a sexy redhead tall drink of water, why don't you go home and say, you know what, Peter Cottontail, we're going to get you some hair plugs. You're going to get some glasses. You can get your teeth clean and shaved down. You're going to have to stop watching that football when I come in. You're going to have to start being nice. You're going to go on some dates. You're going to dress like you got some sense. You're going to get rid of that beer belly. And we're going to feel good about waking up next to each other. I'm gonna get rid of this brittle hair. I'm gonna do something about these brown teeth. I might change my name. We're gonna do something because I want to wake up and love who I see and love who I'm with. And I want you to feel that way too, so that we don't look at Harry and Meghan and get in them comment section and project all the things we hate about ourselves and each other. That's all. We don't have to be ugly. We don't have to be physically ugly, and we don't have to be ugly in the comments. I can tell how somebody look based on the negativity in their comment, and I'm never wrong. I can always tell when somebody real beat up in the face, because let me just make it clear, I've never seen a beautiful person who's successful be negative towards them. Ever. That's all I got to say about that. And I'm not trying to criticize. I'm just saying I've never seen a beautiful, successful person hate on these two people or any other happy, successful people. And then it'd be the ones that's talking about, oh, I'm a royalist. I love Princess Diana. Then why are you attacking her baby boy and his wife? How does that work? That's like me saying I love Beyonce, but I'm going to attack Blue Ivy. What kind of sense that made? I don't understand. That's okay. Lakeitha McGee. Exactly. That's right. Lakeitha McGee said, oh, wait, sorry. Lakeitha McGee said, I've cleaned hotels, so we all have to work. Yes. And see, something people don't know, not that I even have to justify it, but something people don't know is I've started working at 18, like a lot of people. I started working at 18, and throughout college, my first go round, when I was in college the first time, I had 2 jobs and 2 internships, and I was working full-time. I mean, 2 full-time jobs and 2 internships, and I was in school full-time. And I was getting all kind of sabotage. Somebody stole my identity and took out loans in my name. So when I went to go sign up for my second semester at Miss UTA, they said, ma'am, you got 3 defaulted loans. I said, that's not possible because I only took out 1. And they said, well, who do these belong to? And I had to take a whole year out of school to fight for my identity so that those things would leave my credit so that I could get funding for school. And I still had to do my 2 jobs and my 2 internships that the school set me up with so that when I did go back to school, I would get that credit for them. I had to work real hard, driving an hour one way every day just to do a job that barely paid me, but it was all I was qualified to do and the only one that would work around my schedule. And so we've all had to work. We've all had to do stuff we didn't like doing. I've had to work for bosses who hated my guts, who were in secret competitions with me. I had to work for racist people. Imagine my surprise. I work at a beautiful establishment and they hiring racist hillbillies. I'm like, now, wait a minute. Now, this is quacking like a duck. This is swimming like a duck. This is flapping like a duck. This is a damn duck. I work for a duck. And yes, I had to work for that duck until I could find some time and go work for a chicken or a hen or a hawk or an eagle. I had to get out of there, but I had to do it in a way that did not hurt my bills. I'm dealing with all of that and family members dying left and right. We've all had our struggles. So, 12, 13 years of that. And when husband finally says, hey, why are you going so hard? You work like you trying to get away from me. And I'm like, that's all I know how to do. I've always had to work hard. He said, no, you don't. Take a break. I earned that break. So when people was acting stank-faced at me, I said, Lord, because let me tell you this, I was fighting off panic attacks every day. I'm fighting off anxiety attacks every day. My blood pressure's through the roof. My doctor's warning me like, girl, too many more reasons like this. We might have to get you some medicine and you're too young to be on medicine. Like, you just never know what's going on behind closed doors. People looking at me talking about, oh, she thinks she all that. She thinks she cute. Baby, I'm trying to stay alive. I'm trying to breathe. I'm just trying to get through this. But people will look from the outside in, and because your problems don't look like their problems or the things they value, they looking at you thinking, oh, she got that, so she must be perfect, not knowing that you grieving somebody who died, but you can't even take time off work because your light bill need to be paid. See, when you're out here projecting onto other people, you are missing their struggle. You are missing the things that they worked hard for. Everybody who criticizes Harry and Meghan and, oh, they have all this, baby, did it dawn on you that not a goddamn thing was handed to them, though? Did it dawn on you that they have had to work for the stuff that they have, that they are willingly giving away? So when you go out and tell people what they do and don't deserve just because it doesn't meet your metrics that you have no way of measuring because you do not know what kind of sweat equity they have put into the things that they have. You don't know how much they've done to earn this stuff, yet they don't deserve it because they're pretty. because they have a happy marriage, because they have healthy kids? How that work? So because you have some blessings, you don't deserve any others? My God, what a sad and desolate world you live in. We have to sit here and look at people, and these people will sit here and look at people and tell them what they do and don't deserve and have no idea what they've had to sacrifice to get that. Just like Beyonce said on Cowboy Carter, you have no idea how hard I had to fight to get here. When people heard 16 carriages, see, I've been following Beyonce for a long time, so I knew a lot of that stuff. When people heard 16 carriages, they were like, Beyonce used to have to bunk with her band? Yes, because that woman been working since she was 7 years old. But she didn't get on until she was 15. She put in a whole lot of invisible work for that overnight success and hasn't stopped since. So when you see her get these accolades, they're long overdue. But she don't deserve it because she's pretty, because she's rich. Did that stop her from having to work for that stuff? Did that stop the criticism that comes her way and all the conspiracies that people make up about her? Talking about she faked her pregnancy. Like, you know how sick that is for somebody to deny your own child? That's crazy. I don't think fame, there's not enough money to justify fame for me. I would have been in jail. See, you got the right ones. Because I'm going to say this, I'm not trying to be negative, but when people look at your blessings and they immediately start counting your pockets and counting she don't have this, she don't do this, and that's because they feel inadequate inside. They're not respecting your struggle. They're not respecting your blessings. And just like God is in the blessing business for me, you don't think that he'll bless you? Not with that nasty tongue. You have to work that out. Maybe the reason you got passed over is because you walking around with that spirit. That spirit is on you. And I see that spirit lashing out at them all the time. People love saying what they do and don't deserve. Meanwhile, whenever I've asked anybody who's had something negative to say about Harry and Meghan, whenever I've asked, have you ever watched the docuseries? None of them have ever watched it. I don't find that to be a coincidence. Because why would I inform myself against my own delusions that make me feel better about being inadequate at night? So no, I'm not going to learn more about them because they make me feel better about myself when I get to lash out at them. I don't want to feel guilty for that. And I'm certainly not going to put in the work to make myself happy. So the goal here is to make them feel less happy, right? Because I want to feel like I'm in control. Wrong. Because these people don't even know you exist. Where they at? They don't even know you exist. And you sitting around harboring all that resentment. Resentment is drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. And I will be glad when the derangers have their fill. I will be glad when they get just a little taste of what they've been putting out. And they always do. They always do. Now, I've gone on too long about this because I can't stand people who lash out. I can't stand liars. And Harry and Meghan seem to be the target. And that doesn't make sense. No matter how many times we dissect it together and apart and we go through each of these instances, no matter how many times we do that, I've never gotten a firm understanding of how it became them, though. Like, do you know how many popular celebrities existed before these two? Why them? It seems like when they came to be, there was just this massive awakening of all these demonic people who crawled out of the ground just to attack. Like, where were y'all before? And what were y'all doing before you knew that you wanted to hate? Like, what were you doing? I don't get it. You just don't, and you don't know. And the thing is, I feel like it just comes from a place of it shouldn't be them, it should be me. And as long as you have that attitude, you're never going to have it. You're never going to have it. Whatever that it is, whether it's the happy marriage, whether it's the beautiful home, whether it's the car you want, maybe whether it's the kids you want, whether it's the job you want, as long as you are looking at other people and saying what they shouldn't have, you are calling that into your own life, because the tongue is a double-edged sword. What you wish on others, follow me now, what you wish on others is going to find its way back to you. Remember I said, karma's a boomerang. Whatever you put out is going to come right on back to your doorstep. Every time you calling her all kind of names, but then you go to work and your boss treats you like crap. Or you come home and your husband don't even look up from his TV show. Or you make dinner and you run out of butter. Now the dinner's nasty. Every time you go out and you project onto them, you bringing all that home with you. Big old shopping bag full of negativity. Enjoy that, because guess who is not reaching them? They're living their life. In that garden you said that's unrealistic. They're out there making 5-course meals while you're at the View complaining about those 5-course meals that you've never even tasted. And you didn't plant the vegetables. You didn't go hunt the meat. You didn't go to the grocery store, yet they're the problem for having 5-course meals. Maybe you should go get another job. Maybe you should work harder so that you can afford whatever meal you want to afford. How about that? How about that? Instead of being mad at what they eat, why don't you go eat something you like? Now that's all I got. I'm mad now. Now there was a reason. I remember there was a reason I ignored that conversation about from The View. And it triggered me then, and it's triggered me now. And yes, Lakeitha McGee said, Sharion, don't go to jail. No, for real. I'm over here getting hoarse because I done yelled at them people from The View. And see, this is a great example. And just like I done sat here and yelled at them people from The View, they probably at home with their feet put up. I'm doing exactly what I just said they did. Drinking poison and expecting them to die. That's resentment. I'm over here with all this negativity for them, and they watching TV, not worried about me. And so I'm going to wrap it up there, because every day is an opportunity to go out and create the life that we want. And I want to come back to something too, because we're kind of on the topic. Something that we've talked about a little bit is from Invictus Games. I'm pivoting here, but I promise I'm gonna make it make sense. Something we've talked about from the Invictus Games is the slogan, I am. And recently I was reading this book by Joe Dispenza called, I think it's like The Business of Breaking Up with Yourself or Unlearning Yourself or something. It's by Joe Dispenza, but I'm in the middle of it. And he talks a lot about manifestation and how to bring about positive things in your own life, how to take control of your life, how to feel like you are in control and not a witness or a bystander or experiencing what life happens to you. You are out here creating the life you want. And he talks about the power of the I am. Declaring that you are something is the most powerful statement you can make. Declaring something tells your brain that you are, and your brain doesn't think you are lying. So when you declare something for yourself, you are bringing that into your life. You are calling that into your life. So when you say, I am successful, you are. You might not can see it right now, but it's on its way because you declared it. When you say, I am happy, you are. When you say, I am good to people and people are good to me, guess what? You are. But you have to own that. That's why I am is so powerful, because you have to own that statement and you have to walk in that. You have to walk by faith. And when you go out here and you say things like, I am powerful, I am loving, I am good to the world, I do belong here, I'm important, I am loved, I am important, I'm supported, those things will come to pass. And I feel like a lot of people are reluctant to say that because it's just not true. But I too have been that person before who wasn't loved and supported. I have been that person before who was not acknowledged, who was skipped over and ignored. But I didn't let that negativity succumb. I didn't succumb to that negativity. I let that motivate me because I knew what I was worth, and I went out and got it. And reading about Joe Dispenza and the power of the I am statement, it brought me back to really pivotal moments in my life where I said, something in me, I know I'm worth more than this. This sucks. And right now I'm going through this, but this is not going to be what it is forever. I'm going to do better than this. I'm going to get better because I'm owed better. And I'm going to give that to myself. And I did. And I continue to do that. Every time I hit one level, I say, okay, what's next? Let's keep going. And the reason I bring that up is reading about how powerful the I am statement was from Joe Dispenza, and then reading the affirmations from the Invictus poem, but then also the slogans. I just thought, wow. No wonder they can't be stopped, because they won't allow themselves to be. They're not, neither of them, but Harry in this instance, he's not succumbing to external validation because he already knows what he is. He already knows who he is. He already knows what he's capable of. And he injects not only the Invictus Games Foundation, but the Invictus Games themselves, and every single participant, every single family member, every single spectator, he injects his lifeblood into that. You can see the love and care that he puts into those games. When I saw that firsthand, I've observed the games from afar for a long time, since the very beginning. But when I was actually there, that energy, that was the first thing I said on my recap. That energy is something I've never felt before. Having hundreds of people on the same frequency, everybody's focused on doing better and being supportive and being in community. I've never felt anything like, it was like a big ass family reunion. You don't get that by accident. You create that through intention. And that man has created something special. They both have, because she is just as much woven into the fabric of the Invictus Games now as he is. her stamp was on everything. She was clearly part of that. They've both been very part of that. All of the David Wiseman, all of them, they've done something great, and they continue to do something great in every tournament. I call it a tournament, but every games, every competition, every other year, they just get better and better and bigger, and more countries are being drawn to them. That's because they declared it. They know what they are. They know what they do and what they give to people, not just the people who are competing though. The spectators too. I wasn't there competing, but that energy was real. There were days after that jet lag hit me, after that 11-hour traveling, I was exhausted and I caught the flu while I was there. But I was afraid to say anything because I didn't want them to hold me up in customs and be like, girl, you cannot come back to America with COVID. But I was okay. I had to cover up a lot. I was pretty much bandaged up so I didn't spread anything. But I was sick as a dog while we were in Germany. Sick as a dog. And I was still walking out there with my mask. I would bundle up, put my mask on and keep my distance from everybody. But I just wanted to be there. It hit me like, I think it was like day 3 when I got real sick. But prior to that, I wasn't even a participant. I wasn't watching a family member. Like, I didn't have a personal tie. I just went to support veterans. And I felt like family. There wasn't one person I interacted with at the Invictus Games that did not feel like they were welcoming me and vice versa. Like, it was amazing. And people will stop you and just start talking to you. One lady sat at our table with her dogs, and it was like we knew each other. We were playing with her dogs and talking, and we were passing food back and forth and stuff like that. Like, it genuinely felt like family. I've been to all kinds of big events. I've been to competitions. I've been to sporting events. I go to professional sporting events all the time. And even some bigger than that. But that's like strangers coming together to watch something they enjoy. Invictus is like family returning home. It is a very special feeling. And I've never felt that anywhere else. It feels like a big ass family reunion. Everybody is there on the same positive energy. And it speaks to the intention he put into it. It's not something that he created just to have his name on something big. Every single thing that I experienced and encountered or saw had his and her stamp on it. And it was clearly from the heart. I think seeing that, I was already a supporter of them, but experiencing the feeling that they let everybody walk away with, experiencing the athletes and the competitors and how hard they worked and how well they were acknowledged and recognized and celebrated. These are people who probably did not think they would ever be celebrated in this way again. These are people who probably experienced the worst things you can experience, whether it's a physical injury or a mental or an emotional injury. These are people who've really been through some things. These are people who've seen war. They probably did not think any of that would ever come with a thank you. I mean, veterans, service members, they know that what they do is a thankless job, and it's hard. It's the hardest job you can do. And they probably didn't think they would ever be recognized. Not only are they being recognized, but they're being elevated on a pedestal in front of their family and alongside their family by 2 of the most famous people in the world. And they get to walk away knowing that they were genuinely appreciated for their service, and then they're genuinely appreciated in life, post-service, post-giving to the world. Now they're just appreciated. Something they probably never thought they would do. If you doubt any of what I'm saying, just go watch Heart of Invictus. It really gets to the core of why Invictus is so much more than just competition. And the competition is fun enough, but it's so much more than that. And that's just one project of the many that they are invested in. So that's why I really don't let a whole lot of stuff slide when people come at them. I can ignore a lot. Some stuff is just silly, but when people genuinely try to undercut their value, I take that personally. Like Michael Jordan, I took that personally. Yes, I do, because I've experienced it firsthand. And I think a lot of people who haven't seen true loneliness or haven't felt unappreciated like that, or truly haven't felt unseen in the world, and then you do, and you realize how important community is, I think you have a different appreciation for what he created for people, because that's not an easy thing to create. It's hard to create community for strangers. He created community. And the thing is, Harry was walking around like anybody else. Like, I genuinely thought when I saw Harry, it would be like, move, get out of the way, blah, blah, blah. No, he's just sitting up in the thing, like sitting up in the stands. There were moments where he had security, obviously, but He was just talking to people. He was walking up to people, giving them hugs. Like, clearly they knew each other. They'd seen each other before, high-fiving. Like, the teams that he was going for, whenever they did something great, everybody chest bumping and high-fiving and stuff. And he's right there with them. He's not like, ew, don't touch me, lesser. Like, no, like, he's right there with him. And so was Meghan. Like, I genuinely don't know what I expected, but I did expect a little bit more separation. But like I said, I got invited to the event the day before the game started, and he was just sitting there when I walked in. I was like, oh shit, that's Harry. And I had to stop because I didn't want to bug eye him, but my whole instinct was this: you are Harry. The same as the plane. I was trying so hard to like not be weird and not make him be like, shit, I'm not gonna have this no more. I'm gonna have some separation because that bug-eyed lady over there keeps staring at me, and it's me. Like, I didn't want to be the one that ruined the fun for everybody. And so, honestly, oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, I got distracted. But anyway, so I saw firsthand just how intertwined he is, how intertwined they are, not only in Invictus Games, but in the foundation as well, but the community, like the people. And no one felt shocked. Like, you could tell people are used to seeing them just interact. No one was like, oh, Harry and Meghan. Everybody was like, oh, hey, Harry and Meghan. Like, it was like family. And so I say that to say, seeing just that alone, it told me everything I needed to know about the energy and the spirit that was put into the games, into the foundation, into the people who participate, and the level of love and care that goes into putting those together. And that's just one. They have all kinds, the Welcome Project, they have all kinds of different organizations and initiatives and programs. And I'm pretty sure that same energy, that same spirit is intertwined in all of them. And they don't have to do any of that. None of that is publicly funded. Like, we're talking about things that cost a whole lot of money and should more so be a government program, honestly. Like, the Welcome Project, that should be a government program. That's a social program. That should be a government sponsored that's something that we should be getting with our tax dollars. Instead, just one lady with a goal and a pocketbook. I know I'm not paying for a whole bunch of people to eat. I don't know about you. I know I'm not paying to make sure people get together and they have community, people I don't know, especially when I have my own community and I could just focus on self. But one lady decided to and changed the lives of a lot of people all over the US. There's a new Welcome Project location always opening up. And every time we get a new one, I try to talk about it on the channel. So I'm saying all of that to say this. What looks all hunky-dory from the outside actually takes a whole lot of sweat equity, a lot of dedication, a lot of consistency, and a lot of hard work and a lot of money. And the level of energy and resources that they exhaust to make sure that they bring good experiences, community, resources to people, it's so often overlooked because they've done it so long now. It's been going on for so long, and they do so much that people don't take the moment or take the time to say, damn, they really paying for all of this stuff. Or, whoa, like, this is not even their community necessarily. This should be something that's paid for by the government. But they said, okay, if the government won't do it, guess we will. So I think that might be where the uneven expectations come from them, because we're so used to them rolling up their sleeves and picking up the ball and being like, okay, I'll dunk it. If the president won't dunk it, if the Senate won't dunk it, if the House won't dunk it, I'll do it. We're so used to them just running into the fire and pulling people out. We didn't stop to think, like, they are not firefighters. That's not their job, but they're doing it. Maybe we should look at what they're doing, and we should go to our government officials and say, hey, y'all need to step it up so that Harry and Meghan can not have to do all this. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But anyway. Anyway, I said all that to say, the haters are going to hate. And hearing those comments from the lady from The View, I never got to talk about it. And y'all, now you see why, because I had y'all here all night. But hearing those comments were disappointing, but I'm not surprised. There will always be a hater. Anytime anyone is doing anything good, there will always be a hater. And I saw somebody ask me the question, what would I do if the allegations against Beyonce and Jay-Z were true? Beyonce has not been accused of anything. So there's no allegations against her. She hasn't been accused of anything. And if the allegations against Jay-Z were true, then hell, hold his ass accountable. He said that himself. He said, if this were true, if these criminal acts were true, then you need to hold me accountable in criminal court. You need to hold me accountable. I would never do something like this. Like, he outright said it. So I let things play out, but I definitely don't just go into things and be like, oh, they're absolutely guilty, because when you are rich, you have a target on your back. a target on your back. And I look at how you've behaved in other instances and what I've heard about you, and it's something likely, and then I pay attention and see how things turn out. Because evidence doesn't lie. People do. So I pay attention, because if that turned out to be true, if he really did those awful things he was accused of, hell yeah, lock his ass up. Of course. But me personally, seeing how everything played out, I immediately said, oh, hell no, girl. Now, I'm all about holding people accountable, but I'm also not a fool. You can't just throw a name at somebody and be like, he must have done it because he's successful. No. So you just let the absolations be whatever they are, and let the evidence tell the story, and let the court of law handle that. And whatever they say, I'm going to pay attention to. Oh, I don't absolve people from things when they've done wrong, but I'm also not one to just hold a pitchfork just because. I don't believe in that. So anyway, that's all I have for y'all today. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video, this long live stream. Y'all not gonna want me back no more, but feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below or in the live chat if you're participating. I do want to say thank you to everyone who participated today and commented, and the people who called in. I really appreciate that. And if you want to acknowledge who you are, who left that really great comment, you're more than welcome to. I just didn't want to do that and you hadn't given me permission. Thank you so much to Alan Vernon contributing to your blood pressure meds. Thank you, Alan. First of all, Alan, you already bought me the book. See, I put it up. Thank you so much. And I went through this 1,000,001 times, and I was like, okay, it's ready for the bookshelf. I guess I'll stop thumbing through it. But thank you again for this book and the Tyler Perry book. That was very sweet. And thank you for the $5. I'm good now. I'm okay now. I had to de-stress my life. And thank you so much to Coralita Simon for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. So that's all I have for y'all today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. And I will see y'all next time.